Okay, we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Loshak in the Bag Show. Today is September 14th. We do this every Tuesday. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. Of course, we did this a long time ago. We had a lot of fun. We built up a nice community, and it's so great to be back here once a week. Jimmy the Bag. I think I'm changing my hat here. I'm gonna wear a Tampa hat. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I mean, Tampa's the best. And I'm the best. The Yankees, I wear this Yankees hat. The Yankees are super overrated, and they suck. That doesn't represent me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, who am I? I am great, but at the same time, despite being great, also underrated. And that's Tampa Bay right there. So I'm wearing a Tampa Bay hat. I'm also wearing, I don't know if you can see, Levi's. Levi's, also the greatest, they're the best when it comes to jeans, and I'm the best. So I'm wearing that. Hopefully this will help. You know I'm superstitious, Jimmy the Bag. How you doing today?
Good, man. Is this a hint that you're taking the Rays over the Jays today?
Really, I and everyone else should be taking the Rays over anyone every day, for the past 10 years. You know what I'm saying, Jimmy the Bag? That's who they are. They're a very impressive team. I thought that they would start to become less, they would have less value as the years went on. That kind of didn't really happen. They're just a very impressive team. I have a Rays hat. I feel a kinship with them. I wear this Yankees hat all the time just because I'm from New York, but I don't feel a kinship with those arrogant fucks, And so I'm changing it. I'm wearing Rays Levi's shirt, and hopefully we'll have a good. Today's a little bit of a tough card. I am coming off of a usually Mondays are my best. I'm like going back 15 years. Mondays have always been my best day in betting in all sports. I had some nice winners yesterday. I was all over St. Louis, but I also had a bunch of big losers. So overall, it was a small losing day for me. I am up again, Jimmy the Bag, about 2% ROI in my betting this year in MLB, which just continues. Although it's very tricky because I almost wanted to give a little talk before this show, because MLB is just all about betting on weighted coin flips that you think are weighted a little bit the wrong way. So you're going to have if you're betting MLB every day, you're going to have losing days. You're going to have some bets that, in retrospect, seem like you just didn't know what the hell you were doing, what the hell you were talking about. And that certainly happened to me in this show at times, but overall, I have a winning record in my personal betting, and I feel confident every day when it comes to every new baseball card. What do you think about that, Jimmy the Bag?
I think that's well put. MLB is difficult,
mm-hmm.
and it weighs on me as the year goes on. But what helps is opening up the year 13-5 in NFL, Pete.
Oh, nice.
18,
nice.
Actually, 19 bets. One was a push.
Woo.
And mistakes. It's so funny. At 13-5 and mistakes, I feel all I can see are the mistakes on my card. And 13-5 plus 7.45 units. And that's with losing 3 units. 3 units on the Colts Seahawks game.
Wow.
So, take that out 13. That's with getting the absolute worst possible line you could have got on the Carolina Panthers at minus 5.5 and counting that as a loss. And that's also with the Niners getting I went for a plus line and I got the -8 at plus 105 on Wednesday. So that was a push. And I still went 13-5. I was just fucking
very nice,
pumping my shit nonstop, calling people asshole for no reason, slapping strangers' asses, just on top of the world. Fuck, running Parkdale, man. Not even afraid of the Haitian toddlers in the playground. Just doing whatever the fuck I please, whenever the fuck I want to. And it felt so goddamn good. Pistol Pete Loshak. Starting the year like that in NFL is huge. I had a bad week in NCAA football, but still 16-10. Plus 4.75 units there. So I'm so pumped up. I'm so ready to go. And I'm scared of baseball. So it can't all be glorious. I'm scared of baseball. Brian Watson in the house. Great to see you, Brian Watson. Robert Cherry still cashing that Pamper Pop play of the day, running so hot, 21-9. There's Dennis Garcia in the house. Razor Sharp pick 7-1 in his last 8 gamblers' first glances. So he drops those on the show. We're honored that he does that. debuts those looks on our show. There's Matty Ice in the house, says Sunday show was fire. Pistol Pete Loshak was a part of our Sunday show this week, and every Sunday 6 different cappers are going to be on the show. It's so much fun, and I enjoyed it immensely too. And also
and also, Jimmy, the old version of me used to was very self-deprecating, and I used to deflect praise and heap praise on other people. The new version of me heaps praise on myself. How about those 2 totals calls? NFL, Jimmy the Bag, over on the Chiefs game, under on the Chargers game. How about that, Jimmy the Bag?
It's a thing of beauty, a thing of beauty. Matty Ice Taint play of the day is here. So Trey Turner over a half run at -110. 6 of 8 lifetime off of Weaver. The Taint play of the day is in. And by the way, the Taint play of the day continues to reach for 60%. Where's my numbers on Taint? 51 and 40 right now, hitting at 56% and looking very good here. So I'm just going to pop that in to the notes I have for the Dodgers game. That game pops off at 10 p.m. Eastern. So Taint is in, and shout out to Sweet Taint. Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. I'm looking.
Taint is in. Pete, what were you about to say? Sorry.
No, I was going to say that I am looking at the comments right now live, so I will be able to refer to them unless it messes up my feed. But and Mr. Gokster 99 says Modest Pete is long gone, ha ha, and that is true. But I heap praise on other people when they earn it and when it's warranted. And my God, did Mr. Gokster have a great fucking read on that KC starter last time he was out. We thought he was going to be great. We were betting on him. We gave official picks. Mr. Gokster, I mean, a lot of guys have made great calls in our comment section that I wanted to shout out over the past bunch of weeks and months. But that one was a great call by Mr. Gokster. I almost DM'd him personally asking how the hell he knew that KC pitcher was going to get touched. And that absolutely happened. He actually had an okay start. He pitched a bunch of good innings after he got abused in the first inning. But Mr. Gokster absolutely called it. He didn't just say it was a bad bet to bet on him. He said he's going to get abused, and he did. Mr. Gokster, how the hell did he know that?
Yeah, it was. He's a great capper, all around great.
That guy is also starting again today, so we'll see what Mr. Gokster has to say about that. But if you want to drop in the comment section, I was gonna private message you, Mr. Gokster, asking how the hell you knew that guy was going to get abused. If you want to, shed a little light on it, give us a little wisdom what you were looking at. I'm sure we would all appreciate it. Mr. Gokster, great call. What was it? Coar. Starting today, we'll be analyzing that game today.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for all of this. Spreadsheet play of the day is in as well. Ron Crawford joining us. A red girl in the house here. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day is in. Let me copy and paste that. That is the Boston Red Sox. Let me get that in here. Copied and pasted. Also, our guy, Dommy Gun Ricci in the house, locked in Cleveland, +109. Tampa, +127. So he's back.
Years ago, Dom Ricci told us about Jake DeGrom. He said, bet on Jake DeGrom every time the weather is nice. In cold weather, fade him. He was absolutely right. Shout out to Dom Ricci.
Dommy Gun Ricci, by the way, if you want to shout out Dommy Gun Ricci personally, the boys are heading to Atlantic City. Not this weekend, next weekend. Week 3 of NFL. They'll be in Atlantic City. And I'll let you guys all know, but there's a bunch of low baggers going to Atlantic City to party with Dommy Gun Ricci and the boys. So that is not this weekend, but next weekend in Atlantic City. A bunch of low baggers meeting up. Sorry, let me just get this Red Sox information here right above the game. Quickly. God, I can't find it. Okay, we're going to keep going. Red Girl in the house. Thank you guys all for joining us. Harold Williams coming off a nice day yesterday at a boy. And TJ's play of the day here is Reds Pirates first 5 under 4.5. Reds Pirates first 5 under 4.5. Well, it's time, Pete, to get to work. So let me just copy and paste the. God damn, what the hell's wrong? Too many notes, too many pages and pages and pages of notes driving me crazy. So I'm just going to put it at the bottom for the here, so I'm not going to waste anybody's more time. There's the spreadsheet play of the day and TJ's play of the day here as well. Get them both in. Okay, it is time to work. It is time to work. Larry Gar says Arrieta on the hill today. Well, I'll have you know that with great fear it looks like our man Birdie is on the other side of the fence in the Arrieta spot, backing him after the Giants celebrated their playoffs.
That's a very, very tough situation. We'll talk about that when we get to it, right?
Yeah, but I'm very nervous now. And I look forward to talking about it. Tony Cobbs, thank you so much for the dono. Says chilling at work, but never miss a show. Tony, that means the world to me. Von Polo, there is your invite, Von. Go out and roll in with the boys in Atlantic City, man. I want to. I hope you guys all roll together. All right, it is time to get to work, Pete. I'm coming off a 3-4 day on Friday, down 1.10 units. All of the plus line spots. Actually, I shouldn't say all of them because I cashed Royals plus 105. But Red Sox first 5 plus 125. Indians first 5 plus 115. Rangers first 5 plus 145 were all losers, as was the Yankees first 5 minus 115. I cashed with Cincinnati, St. Louis first 5 under 4.5. Giants minus 1, and the aforementioned Kansas City Royals at plus 105. So not a great Friday for me. I'm looking forward to get back at it. Pete, we are going to start with the double dip here, the doubleheader in Indians Twinkies. We like to get the doubleheaders out of the way. We start at 3:10 p.m. Eastern with two pitchers that just faced each other last out and threw very, very well. That being Tristan McKenzie and Joe Ryan. And it was a thing of beauty that Joe Ryan threw, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can pull it off again today. The first 7-inning doubleheader, the 6.5 was juiced to the over initially. It's now juiced to the under. Two excellent pitchers on the mound, but 69 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 11 miles out to right center. The wind is blowing. So let's move over. The opener was at minus 121. I wonder what it is right now. I'm not getting a chance to see it. I'll look into that a little bit more. McKenzie's 4-6, 4.44 ERA, 1.08 WHIP, 103 in the third, 120 Ks, 49 walks, 16 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 Ks, and that 3-0 loss at home. At home, he's 1-2 with a 4.04 ERA, 160 opponent's batting average. On the road, he's 3-4, 4.80 ERA, 183 opponent's batting average. But that doesn't tell the story of Tristan McKenzie. He got lit up, went down to the minors for 5 weeks, and since he's come back, and we've backed him almost every week in and out, at least with on the total side of things, he's been lights out. In August, 2-1 with a 1.93 ERA, opponents hitting 126 against him. In September, 1-1 with a 1.50 ERA, opponents hitting 122 against him. Joe Ryan coming off that fantastic start, 7 innings, 1 hit, no walks, 4 Ks, and that was at Cleveland. Comes back home here. Indians are hitting 239, 700 versus righties the last 30 days. Twins are hitting them much harder at 246, 761. And both bullpens are pitching very well of late. The Twins bullpen especially last 30 days, 3.26 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. Indians bullpen 3.74 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. The table is set, Pete. Game 1 of the double dip. Is there a move that interests you?
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys are obviously absolutely top notch right now. They're not they're not grizzled veterans, so they're not guys who you can be reliably the confidence level that they're going to be able to do it again in their next start is not what it is when you're talking about guys like Wainwright or whatever. But without a doubt, I'm assuming that both of these guys, until they give any reason to expect otherwise, are going to be lights out. So I definitely am liking the under here. I took it when it opened at 7. I know that the wind is blowing out. I've been doing this quite a while, Jimmy the Bag. And one thing that you really always want to keep in mind in baseball, I mean, weather does matter, but you don't want to overemphasize that as a factor. We saw that last week in a bunch of Cleveland games where that went way under despite wind blowing out. And so I just learned this about a week ago, Jimmy the Bag. Don't overestimate and be careful about going nuts whenever you see wind blowing out or in baseball. I did learn that last week, and so I'm liking the under here. This is a classic MLB situation where I'm going to bet it. I'm going to bet it relatively big, and if it turns out that the wind's blowing out and one of these guys comes in and gets hit and it goes way over, it's gonna go up as a loss on my spreadsheet, but that's okay because overall huge sample size. I got about a plus 2% ROI, so that's great. That's fine. It's all good. I'm gonna take the under here, Jimmy the Bag, and I like the first 5 under a little bit more as well.
I absolutely get it. I made a point this year of just not making the same mistakes that I've made in the past, and this doesn't have to do with the 11 miles per hour to right center. This has to do with the 2 young pitchers. Right. Lights out against their opponents, meeting them again 5 days later, And I like your look. I just have to consciously be aware of what I've been losing with, and just not go back to the well. Maybe this
Also,
yeah.
Right. Sorry. One other thing. Also, you want multiple factors that line up in the same direction usually when you're betting to be more confident about it. And the Cleveland lineup is borderline ass. That is not a good lineup. So I'm happy to bet. Anytime I'm thinking about betting an over with them, I'm thinking 2 and 3 times. Anytime I'm thinking about betting an under with them, I'm thinking about a halftime or a quarter time. I'm much quicker to pull the trigger on an under with Cleveland than an over right now.
I get it. Absolutely get it. So let's lock this in for you. What is the best line available?
Well, I'm almost certainly going to be on a first 5 under here. I'm not seeing any first 5 unders except at some shit books I never fucking heard of. One of them is a shit book. It's a scam book. I'm not going to quote them, so I'm probably going to be on the first 5 under. I'll take the full game under though. I'm seeing 6.5 at Pinnacle. I'll take that one 6.5 minus 120.
6.5 minus 120, and I get it. And we've already seen Dommy Gun on Cleveland. Morgan Spooner also says lightly just for action will be backing Cleveland. Patrick Peoples riding the under full game.
But I definitely like the first 5 under a lot more, and that's going to be. I just can't give that as an official play right now, but I like the first 5 under a lot more because with the wind blowing out, I could see both these guys coming out after 5 or 6, and then all of a sudden it's a different situation.
By the way, Dommy Gun Ricci running white hot 4-0 on Monday Night Football. Raiders +4, field goals over 3.5, Watkins over 3.5 receptions, and 6.5 receptions with Waller. Attaboy, great work. Dommy, as I said, on Cleveland +109. So is Puzzler. He says, took Cleveland, Minnesota's travel issues, amongst other things. And TJ says, while Joe Ryan has impressed, he does have a 64.5% fly ball rate. With that wind, I think a couple could go out. And there's T-Max joining us as well.
And he's also pitching again against Cleveland. This is an ass lineup.
Well, let's talk about Game 2 and see if there's any interest here. And I know, Pete, you probably want to gather the information from Game 1. The wind dies down a little bit, goes down to 8 miles per hour for the 7:10 p.m. start at Target Field. Logan Allen going up against Charlie Barnes. Logan Allen had that one spectacular start when he got back to the bigs, and then he's been back to poor pitching on the bump. Last out at home versus these Twins, he went 5 1/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, and 4 Ks, and a 5-2 loss. Going up against Charlie Barnes, last out at home versus Milwaukee, 4 hits in 4 innings, 3 earned runs, no homers, 1 walk, and 2 Ks. He's had a tough season, 6.59 ERA, 1.57 whip, only 13 strikeouts and 27 1/3 with 11 walks beside that. Cleveland, with the ass lineup they have been hitting lefties. That's the only thing they have been doing. Last 30 days, 264, 827 OPS. And the opposite for the Twins. They've not been doing anything against lefties. 201 with a 623 average. And we've already gone over the success of the bullpens of late. Any thoughts here? Let me just give you a line. This total for the Game 2 is up to 7.5. And the Twins are about the same, maybe a little slightly less of a favorite.
No, I will look at this game after Game 1 is done.
Look at Game 2 after Game 1 is done. Robert Cherry on Cincinnati first 5 minus a half, and Milwaukee first 5 minus a half. All right, that is the double dip. Leo Leon wanting a little hint on the scam book. Says was thinking about opening another account, but not sure with who.
I was just it's actually not a scam book. They had some issues about 10 years ago with someone who was beating them on correlated parlays, but it's not. I have no idea. I don't follow the offshore books right now, so they might not be a scam book anymore. I was just saying that mostly for effect. Although, 12 years ago they did pull some funny business with someone who was beating them on correlated parlays, but I was just mostly saying that for effect.
But Leo Leon, we can talk. So you can just DM me on Twitter, and we can break down what would be the best situation for you. Row in the house on Reds run line, Phillies run line, White Sox money line, and Braves money line. All right, that is the double dip. Pete moving on the full game under 6.5 minus 120 in Game 1. Also interested in that first 5 under 5, and I am staying off of it. Although in Game 2, I have interest. Oh, God, they both look like trash. I guess the over would be the only interest, especially if it's a low-scoring early game and the lineups look strong enough. Okay, we move on to 6:35 p.m. Eastern. We get through the double dip. Let's get to work. Cincinnati Reds at Pittsburgh Pirates. Reds are 75-69, 37-36 on the road. Pittsburgh Pirates 52-91, 32-40 at home. I've only made 3 bets so far on this card, so I'll let you know when they come up. And the first one is actually the next game. 84 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour across the diamond. Wade Miley going up against Dylan Peters. You gave us the full game under in Peters' last start. That was at home versus the Tigers, and that was a winning start for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it was a 3-2 final. Remember, the market was going against you right when the show went on, but I did tail you, and it was a nice catcher. Miley, 12-5, 2.89 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 155 and 2/3, 47 walks, 14 home runs. He's had a great season, and I still, for some reason, don't trust him all the time the way I should. Arthur Meade Jr., thank you so much for the dono. Man, we love you. And Arthur Meade Jr. being with us, Pete, since the very beginning, always supported us. Great guy.
Shout out Arthur Meade.
So, coming off a great start at the Cubs. And then Dylan Peters coming off a good start at home versus the Tigers. The Reds can't hit lefties. They simply can't do it right now. It's getting worse and worse day in and day out. Against lefties right now, last 30 days, 188 with a 595 OPS. Pirates versus lefties, 251 with a 703 OPS. The Reds' bullpen struggling as well, as it has been all year long. Last 30 days, 5.33 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. Pirates' bullpen, 3.87 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. And let's move on to the market and set the table here for Pistol Pete Loshak. Here we go. Peralta. Oh, sorry, that's the game I'm on next. Sorry, Reds, Pirates here. The Reds open up minus 159. They're now minus 156, a 3-cent move towards these Pittsburgh Pirates. And there's been a 7-cent move to the over at 8.5. It was a pick 'em. Now it's juiced to the over. Pete, take it away, Reds, Pirates.
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking about maybe changing my game one pick to whatever the opener is at Pinnacle on the first 5 under, but we'll talk about that a little later. Yeah, we have a sort of a classic situation here. I've talked about these games at Pittsburgh. In general, even if you have maybe mediocre starting pitchers and Pittsburgh not looking so great on paper, anytime they're a huge home dog like this and you have a total that's not really low, I'm thinking under and Pittsburgh. That's the way I'm thinking again. Miley, you said you don't feel comfortable betting on him every time out, but neither do I. He's just made a major improvement over how he used to be, where he was borderline an auto fade. Borderline auto fade to where he is now, which is an excellent starter about half the time. This one, I don't love the spot for Miley, but again, at Pittsburgh, it's probably a relatively easy assignment. Kind of same deal for Peters, so I don't really love either starting pitcher here, but with a total of 8.5, an underdog line or 9, I'd be leaning under. I haven't bet it yet, and at this line, I don't really love Peters, but that's the way these games at Pittsburgh go. A lot of times you're getting a huge home underdog line with a starting pitcher who maybe scares you a little bit, is uninspiring. But I tend to bet those and win, more often than not with them. So I don't know if I'm going to give an official play here, but leaning under and leaning Pittsburgh.
Morgan Spooner says Pirates play so tough at home. Miley is on every other game. Oh, every other game is bad lately on one of those runs. Morgan Spooner liking the Pirates money line. LJ from H-Town says Reds have won 13 of the last 14 meetings, and we got Flipper 13 in the house rolling with us. Yes. Also, just very quickly on that last game, which I probably should have said, my apologies. There are just under 10,000 tickets in, so the sample size is very nice here. And for that total, Pete, 55% of the tickets on the over and 74% of the cash on the over, which is surprising. And then another very surprising movement here is that it's a 50-50 split with tickets, but 93% of the cash is on Tristan McKenzie in Cleveland, which is very interesting. Matty I says Miley owns Pittsburgh this year. He shuts them down. In 30 at-bats, they're hitting 167 with a 509 OPS, and Dylan has this very small sample size with 4 at-bats. Let's check.
All right, you know what? I'm going to buy up to 9, though, which is a little bit of a puss-safe thing to do, or a lot. But, Pinnacle right now, 8.5 is plus 100. I'll take 9 at minus 126 as an official play.
Pete is on the under 9 at minus 126. That does make sense here. Pete on the under 9, minus 126. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if that fits. 3,719 tickets in. 80. Oh, that's sorry. That's and you know what? My fault, you guys. On that 93%, that's on the plus 1.5 spread. Sorry, the actual cash flow is very different than what I gave out. Sorry, I got to stop this again. Sorry, guys. I've been up since very early capping, was up late capping. So 48% of the tickets on the money line are on the Twins, and 80% of the cash on the Twins. It's the spread that has 93% on the Cleveland Indians. So my fault there. So completely wrong. Sorry to mess with you guys and scare you, but 48% of the tickets on the Twins in Game 1, 80% of the cash, but the totals that I gave you were right. That's 55% of the tickets on the over and 74% of the cash. To the spot that Pete just moved on the under, 52% of the tickets on the under, 49% of the cash, and then 86% of the tickets and 83% of cash on the Cincinnati Reds. Okay, there we go. Reds, Pirates, Pete on the under 9, buying up to minus 126, and I get that look.
And that was just a safe thing to do. I mean, there's no real reason for that other than I'm giving a public play here, and I just feel uncomfortable. If it lands on 9, I'm going to be so frustrated. So, there's probably a little bit more value with 8.5 as a dog. And also, I'll probably be on Pittsburgh at this line, but I can't give it as an official play right now.
Gambler's First Glance is in. Gambler's First Glance is in from our razor sharp picks. So let's lock this in right now. He's on the Mets Cardinals under 8. New York Mets, St. Louis Cardinals under 8, and he's on a 7-1 run. That's the Woodford Stroman start, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, let's keep rolling down the line and quickly. What was make sure that was the and TJ's play of the day. Sorry, because I was panicking trying to find the notes. Was on that Reds Pirates first 5 under. So correlates with Pete's action here from TJ. Play of the day: Reds Pirates first 5 under 4.5. He's 18-12 plus 4.91 units. Average line minus 105. ROI plus 16.37%. All right, let's go. Pete in, and that under does make sense, but I'm gonna take a little bit more time and see what it is at 8.5 for me. Here's an under I did move on. The under 9 at minus 120 for Brewers Tigers at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Freddie Peralta going up against Willie Peralta, and I have said openly that I do not think that Willie Peralta is as good as his numbers indicate. But what they do indicate is he's been very good at home this year. 2.38 ERA, opponents hitting 244 against him, and hasn't lost a game starting at home. And coming off that start, 3-2 loss at the Pirates, where I said on the show that I didn't trust him. And Pete said this could be one of his starts where he allows 2 runs over 6 innings. He allowed 1 run over 4 innings. 3 walks, 3 Ks. He bent but didn't break and still is getting soft contact. The issue is more with Freddie Peralta, whom I love dearly. And this wind is wild. Wild wind in Detroit today. 86 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 16 miles per hour sideways, slightly in, which I do think will help both pitchers. Peralta has not looked good since he went on the IL for keeping his innings down, or was there arm fatigue or shoulder fatigue? He's not looked good. When is he going to turn it around? He keeps saying he's 100%. So it's with a little trepidation that I move on the under 9, but that was I trust that he's going to get his shit together for the playoffs, and I think that Willie Peralta is very dangerous at home. Brewers versus righties last 30 days, 265, 783 OPS. Tigers versus righties, 243, 721 OPS. And both bullpens have been middling after really good Augusts have been middling. Nilo, much love to you, says, love you, Jimmy, but hate Loshak's new hat. Shout out to Nilo. Thank you so much for the dono, man.
What can I say? Why do people hate Tampa Bay? Why is that?
Because they're playing Nilo's a Toronto guy, and the Razor in town as we speak. Okay, Pete. So I moved on the under 9 at minus 120. Let's see what we are dealing with right now. The 9s are still readily available, right at the price I got them at, but they did open juice to the over. And the Brewers opened up at minus 186. They're now minus 210. So a 24-cent move towards them. Pistol Pete Loshak. Here we go. Brewers Tigers. Take it away.
Yeah, this one, again, I like I said, I've got about a 2% ROI overall in baseball, big sample size, but I definitely have a few bets every day that lose in a way that makes me think I probably was just totally wrong on that one. This might have been one of them. The line was just too big, and I did take a shot with Detroit, a small shot, a very small shot, but a shot with Detroit at like plus 182. Now it's gone up to 190. I understand the move. Milwaukee is legitimately awesome, and Detroit is, Cleveland level in terms of their lineup and their futility. But my numbers like Detroit as a little bit as that big of a home dog, anything over 170, and so I took a shot with it. If they lose, 7-1, then you'll hit your under. I'll be happy for you. And I'll be looking at that result and thinking, man, I just didn't know what the hell I was talking about. Was totally wrong on that game. Maybe I'm just totally wrong overall. And my positive results have been lottery-style luck. So I don't know. I took a shot with Detroit, Jimmy the Bag. But if anyone says that that's totally stupid, I certainly wouldn't have a good argument against it. And I do see that Mr. Gokster loves Milwaukee first 5, and I don't have a good argument against it.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't seen Freddie Peralta either, which is tricky. He's a very tricky pitcher. So only Robbie Grossman's seen Peralta before. Against Willie Peralta, these guys – Brewers don't have good numbers against them. 197 with a 576 OPS, and that's a decent sample size because Peralta's been in the league a long time. Von Polo asking for first looks on NFL. You're going to get more than first looks because we have a full 2-hour show probably. Hopefully we can get it in shorter than that, but we have a full show tonight, 8 p.m. Beat the Line with Rob Bebenek, and I can't wait. 13-5 start. I can be relaxed. I don't need to reach. I don't need to. I'm very, very, very exciting. T-Mac says, how do we donate, Jimmy? You deserve all the support. Pub Sports for Life. T-Mac, thank you so much for your kindness. There's just a little button there on the YouTube to send a dono, and it means a ton to us. So thank you. Mark Sports Betting, Kraken play of the day, is on Rays Moneyline plus 17. And Mark, you were the final push for me to bet the Argos on Friday. So I know that you got screwed by that late interception because the market – I knew the public was going to be betting the Ticats all day. And I'm sorry that you got screwed on that late interception because I ended up getting them on the money line at minus 120. But I thank you for that. Your confidence in that spot pushed me towards making that bet. And so a big thank you there. I only bet about 30 minutes before kickoff while I was, half cut up at Woodbine. Okay, we move on here. So that is the Brewers Tigers. Pete is on the Tigers, but
yeah, I bet it. I don't know if I can make it an official play, but I did bet it, and that's what my numbers say.
Brady says best 7 hours of the week is tonight on the NFL show. Okay. And North End says, thanks, Mark. Jimmy was the final push for me. Yeah, totally, North End. You see how that? No, you're absolutely right because you said that about me, and it really was Mark for me. So I love that. Okay, it's Ski Profit in the house as well. Okay, we move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs at Philadelphia Phillies, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Kyle Gibson has sure been a disappointment since the trade. 4.60 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Just disappointing. And not what I expected from him. I thought that he was going to get in some pressure situations and step up because he'd been, toiling around with the Rangers, and he's not been. And I wonder when is the time to back him. Going up against Adrian Sampson. Sampson's last start, 4-3 loss at home versus the Reds. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. There were solo shots, 1 walk, and 2 Ks. In 16 and the third inning so far, the series looked pretty good. 82 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour to right center at Citizens Bank Park. Gibson's last start was another struggle. There was a 4-3 loss at the Brewers. He went 4 2/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. Cubs are hitting righties decently last 30 days, 247, 736 OPS. Phillies versus righties, 241, 755 OPS. The Cubs bullpen, 5.05 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. Last 30 days being bad. So is the Phillies, 4.80 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Here you go, Pete. Phillies, Cubbies. Phillies opening up at minus 198. It's where they are right now. And this total's gone up a half run from the 9 opener to a 9.5. Take it away.
Yeah, another situation similar to the Detroit game. I might be totally on the wrong side of this one, and I'm not saying it might lose. I'm saying I might actually be on the absolute wrong side of this one. I did take a shot with the Cubs at that line. At that line, my numbers indicated that there was some small value. It was a modest shot again. Philly is obviously a significantly better team, but Are they that much better than the Cubs according to my numbers with these starting pitchers involved? No, I don't really like either starter. My numbers also like the first 5 over a little bit as well at 5, and a little bit the Cubs full game team total over as well. And again, I'll probably be on all of those. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily positive EV plays. I can say that my plays overall so far have a positive ROI, but I can't defend it if it turns out that they were totally wrong. But that's what I like here, Jimmy the Bag. Cubs as a huge dog, first 5 over, and Cubs full game team total over a little bit. What can I say?
That first 5 over is sounds to me like the most appealing spot. I wish I had moved on that over 9 now that I look at it. I understand why it's moved to 9.5. By the way, my mistake. I didn't give you guys the cash flow on that Milwaukee-Detroit spot, but 59% of the tickets are on the under, 96% of the cash on the under, and we've seen a decent move. I thought by Showtime it would be an 8.5, but it's not. It's still a 9. Here with the Cubs, Phillies, let's take a look at the cash flow in this spot. 3,114 tickets in. So 21% of the tickets and 30% of the cash on the Cubs. That's always a nice thing when you back a dog, to see that you're going to expect the tickets to be lower, and you always want the cash to be higher than the tickets, and you're getting that there. Then we have 48% of the tickets on the under and 94% of cash on the under. Again, that could have come in at 9.5. It doesn't show when that big bets came in. You likely think the unders came in at 9.5, but that will be enough to probably give me pause here. Are any of those bets going to be official for you, Pete?
I'll make the first 5 over 5 at -109 official. I'll make that an official play. First 5 over 9, Philly. First 5 over 9. Over 5 -109. I'll make that official. And then I don't know, man. All these huge dogs. My record on money line dogs this year, full game and first half, is just unbelievable. It's like 50% winners, and the ROI is huge. But there are always situations like this where, and I think I had a big money dog loser. I think I had Texas, as a huge underdog last night. They lost 15-1. Obviously, that was very extremely the wrong side. But I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm just wasting airtime here, Jimmy the Bag. I don't know. Chicago Cubs plus 180. I'm going to be on it. I don't think I can give it an official play. All right, I'll give it an official play. Chicago Cubs, full game money line, plus 180. What the hell?
Cubs plus 180.
I talked myself into it.
Plus 180. Not much on saying, Jimmy, with the Giants, make sure to remember, even though they clinched a playoff spot, they've stressed the most important thing is winning the division, and the players have set that goal. That was my defense, not Flush, in my chat with Birdie. That was my defense, and it'll be a fascinating topic when we break it down. Fascinating.
But maybe Nutflush Allen can tell us this. The question is, did they celebrate? Did they get wasted? That's the question. Did they?
They are such a veteran group. There's so many old guys on that group. It'd be hard to imagine them getting all fucked up. But
old guys, when they have a reason to celebrate even harder than young guys because they have fewer reasons to celebrate because they're old. The young people celebrate every day just because they're young. Feel me?
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. All right, no move for me in Cubs, Phillies, but Pete has made the Cubs plus 180 official in the first 5 over 5 -109. I do like that over. I'm surprised to see how much money's being bet on the under, but I have put a few asterisks on it to continue looking at it. And Bill McDonald here in the chat says Bayern Munich money line is cash today. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Miami Marlins 61-83, 23-49 on the road at Washington Nationals 59-85, 33-40 at home. We're at Nationals Park in Washington D.C. 83 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour, slightly out to left field. Jesus Luzardo has looked awful in his time in Miami until 2 starts ago. 2 starts ago, he had a very nice start, and he did follow it, continue it on to this last start at home versus the Mets. 5 2/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 walks, 8 Ks. Look, we thought that this was the future ace of the A's organization. So to see him fall the way he has been surprising, and I don't trust Fetty ever. 6-9, 5.31 ERA, 1.44 WHIP, 117 innings, 112 Ks, 44 walks, 19 homers. In his last 30, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 homers, but no walks and 7 Ks and a 7-6 loss at the Braves. It was an extra inning loss. Marlins versus righties last 30 days, just atrocious. Aguilar out of the lineup, 220, 616 OPS. And what do we know about the Nats? They hit lefties hard. That's just something that's always been happening. 278, 834 OPS. Marlins bullpen 3.82 ERA, 1.23 WHIP over their last 30 days, while the Nats bullpen has been just bad all year. 5.47 ERA, 1.59 WHIP. We'll move over to the market here and set the table for Pete in this Miami-Washington spot. This total opened up at 8. It's moved to 8.5. Washington opened up at minus 149, and there's been an 11-cent move to the Miami Marlins. Pete, take it away.
Okay, very quickly, I want to amend my line on the Cubs. It's plus 188. Pinnacle actually has the worst market line. Plus 188, I saw it bet online, so I'll take that one, okay? Plus 188.
I just changed it. There it is.
Okay, great. And then also, can I quickly address a comment here? Where is this guy? Where's that comment? Let me see. Let me just quickly find it. I can't find it. All right, maybe I won't address it. All right. So Miami and Washington, I did have Miami last night. That was one of my winners. I had Miami on the full game. I had the Washington team total under, and in this one, the line didn't come out until this morning, so I haven't bet it yet. But I am. I know I saw someone saying that they like the over, or in the beginning of the show. I forgot who that was. Sorry, the under they like. I'm leaning over. I'm leaning first 5 over. Both of these pitchers are very vulnerable according to my numbers. I know that Fedde has pitched Miami great in his career. I think that's a little bit due to variance and also pitching in Miami. Fedde is one of those guys who's generally vulnerable, but sometimes I have him circled as likely to have one of his less crappy starts. This is not really one of them. I don't think he'll get crushed here, but I'm thinking, at least 2 or 5 innings and 2 or 3, and Luzardo should give up a couple as well. So I'm definitely leaning first 5 over on this one, and that's about it for now.
The total has gone from 4 to 4.5 right now. There is some juiced 4s. You'll get a plus line on the 4.5s.
No, I'll take a juiced 4. Where are you seeing a juiced 4? That's what I'll take.
Okay,
I'll make that official.
Right here. I went back to full. Let me just move back to first 5s, and I'll get you that juiced 4. First 5 total at 4 here for Pete in Miami, Washington. It's at Bet Online. So Bet Online's the last one. They're hanging a minus 125 right now.
Over 4 minus 125?
Yeah.
All right, I'll make that one official. It's always tough to take overs in Washington in any way, shape, or form. Similar to Pittsburgh, similar to Detroit, a bunch of other places. But this situation, my numbers like it. So first 5, over 4 minus 125.
Against Fedde, these Marlins are hitting 212 with a 479 OPS. Against Luzardo, 368 with a 1.137 OPS, 7 for 19 with 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. We move over to the cash flow in this spot. Just 1,487 tickets in, as Pete mentioned. This line didn't come out until this morning. 60% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on Washington, then 56% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the under. And I could imagine that came in at 8.5. Very interesting. I guess I'm not sure exactly what to do. Billy Briz in the house. Great to see you, Billy. Thank you for joining us in the car today with you, Jimmy. Drive safe, my guy. I'm not entirely sure what to do. T-Max says, I loved Washington past month for team total overs, but they're not hitting at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams, it's a low total. Neither lineup is particularly impressive, although Miami's kind of scrappy. Could lose, but both of these pitchers, according to my numbers, are very vulnerable. I found the comment I wanted to address. Plain J04 said the most decisive capper I've ever heard speak. Plain J, we're just doing a little shtick here. We're doing this show, so we try to make it a little bit, not bland and entertaining. Trust me, bro. I know what I'm doing here. Okay. All right. Here we go. Jimmy the Bag. Just wanted to address that.
If you had a free bet on a side, first 5, Marlins, Nats, where would you be leaning?
First 5 side?
Yeah.
Oh, I would be leaning, as a dog, I'd be leaning Marlins. Yeah. At this line, I'd be leaning Marlins. Yeah. I
think that makes sense right now, is to back Luzardo's improved play. But he's on the road, and I'm running so hot in football. I just feel like there's no need to reach here and risk any of the glorious cash that's coming in. We'll move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern, although I do have a lean towards Marlins first 5. I'm going to put a couple question marks beside that. I don't want Luzardo on the road. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, here we go. New York Yankees, 80-64, 39-33 on the road at the Baltimore Orioles, 46-97, 22-49 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland, 82 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour out to left. Garrett Cole going up against Alexander Wells. Garrett Cole had the hammy issue in his last start. Went 3 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 1 homer, 2 walks, 2 Ks, and a 5-1 loss at home versus Toronto. Alexander Wells on the other side, the lefty, has not had a good season, has been beaten up, but last start was better at home versus the Royals. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 2 Ks. So he gets the consecutive home starts. Yankees versus lefties, just 235, 670 OPS over the last little while. Orioles versus righties, 238, 745 OPS. Yankees bullpen, 3.81 ERA, 1.33 whip over the last 30 days, while the Orioles bullpen is atrocious, 7.50 ERA, 1.62 whip over the last 30 days. Pete, Yankees, Orioles. Sorry, let me move over to full game right now and set you a table with the market moves. Here we go. We have an opener of 9, and that's gone to 9.5. And not only that, but the 9.5s are now juiced. The Yankees opened up at minus 286. They're now minus 319. So a 33-cent move towards them. Pistol Pete Loshak, take it away, Yanks, Orioles.
Okay, Yankees minus 335 on the road all day long, baby. Max bet, baby. No, I don't know. Look, the Yankees are a fucking, disgrace of a team to bet on. They're just way overvalued. This spot, though, I'm not going to bet against them because Cole, who knows what's up with him. His last start was short. It was bad. And that was a little bit expected because he came off of that high pitch count, awesome 15 strikeout start. So I would expect him to be dominant here. But again, I'm not going to take, you've seen this from time immemorial. Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, Brett Saberhagen, all those guys, minus 400, and people would jump all over them. I can't take the Yankees here at minus 380 on the first 5 or whatever it is. My numbers do indicate that, I think that Cole will have a bounce back shutout start here, but I can't bet. If there's anything I was going to think about, it would be the Baltimore first 5 team total under, but which is 1.5 at minus 120. That's the only way I'm thinking about betting this game, and I probably will have a play on that. Haven't bet it yet though, but probably will.
Yeah, the Yankees have poor numbers versus lefties last 3 days, but they smash well. 7 for 14 against them with 3 doubles. Against Garrett Cole, these Orioles are hitting 149 with a 436 OPS. Yuck. Okay, not any action here for me, but let's see what the cash flow is on this spot. We have 3,568 tickets in. 77% of the cash tickets are on the Yankees, 71% of the cash. Then 81% of the tickets and 95% of the cash are on the over. No move for me in that spot, and no move for Pete.
Yeah, this is just, if you're down 800 units on the year, this is where you take the Yankees for 1,000 units at minus 380. Some people do it, and I hope they cash if they do it. I'm not going to do that.
Next up for us, 7:07 p.m. Eastern, a huge game in Toronto, a huge game. The Tampa Bay Rays in town, 89-55, 44-29 on the road at the Jays, 81-63, 40-29 at home. What the Jays have done offensively over the last 15 games, they've never done before. We keep breaking records, and they're just running so hot. 75 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 13 miles per hour, out to right center. I expect the roof to be open, but I don't have that proof here. And Noli Knows in the chat, whom we love dearly, says hamstring issues to tend to linger. We're talking about Garrett Cole there. Here we go. Rasmussen had decent numbers with Milwaukee. It's hard to believe that the Rays were able to get him for nothing. But with the Rays, 2-0, 2.86 ERA, 1.09 whip, 44 innings, 40 Ks, 11 walks, 2 homers. His K per 9 stats were better in Milwaukee, but he's a much better pitcher in Tampa. They're just twirling their magic again. Going up against Jose Barrios, 11-7, 3.52 ERA, 1.11 whip on the year. His last start, he went 6 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 8 Ks, and a 6-4 win at the Yankees. It was a big pressure start, and he looked good. Rays versus righties last 30 days, not that good. 238, 726 OPS. But Blue Jays versus righties last 30 days, 279 with an 853 OPS. Both bullpens have been poor, and I say that expecting the Jays to be poor of late, 4.32 ERA, 1.28 whip, but seeing the Rays bullpen at 4.24 ERA, 1.32 whip over the last 30 is a surprise. Mark Sports Betting gave the Kraken play today to the Rays money line at plus 117. Let's see where they all stand right now. The Jays opened up at minus 135 at Pinnacle. They're now minus 140. This total opened up at 9, slightly juiced to the over. It's now slightly juiced to the under. Pistol Pete, Rays, Jays, take it away.
Yeah, the Toronto is it's an interesting case. This again. I talk about this a lot of times, Jimmy the Bag. When it comes to the baseball season, a lot of these elite teams, they have sort of extended runs where they're just kind of like lethargic and they don't do well, they don't score, and then when they bounce back in a huge way, and that's clearly what's happened to Toronto. You remember, about a month ago when Toronto was just a listless team. They weren't winning, they weren't really scoring. Same names in the lineup, a huge lineup. I will admit that I was pretty big, maybe I think huge on Tampa Bay yesterday, and it was a loss. I might stay off this one. I see Mr. Gokster saying that he expects Barrios to regress here, and if he's going to regress, it's more likely to come against a team like Tampa Bay, who preps for pitches like him very well. I think at this point I'm going to hold off. My numbers have a lean to Tampa Bay and the under, but I haven't bet either of those, and I don't know if I'm going to. And, Mr. Gogster, I used to take his opinions. I cared about what he had to say, but I wasn't like freaking out every time I saw him post an opinion. But now I am a little bit. If Mr. Gogster says Barrios regresses, I think maybe he does. It's going to be a pass for me right now, Jimmy the Bag.
He's got just unbelievable numbers against the Rays. They're 4 for 47 off of them.
Yeah.
85 with a 324 OPS, but I still don't have a ton of trust in him. Drew Rasmussen has faced 6 Jays once each time. They're 0 for 6 with 2 strikeouts against them.
And it's Wander Franco, Slats 45. Shout out Slats 45, Wander Franco. Huge loss, which is true. And he says, and Rays looked so tired last night, which is true. The Rays are so good because of the way they put up their team together and their analytics. But so, if they lose their edge for a period of time, they can start to stink. That's not going to happen, for an extended period of time. But in short spurts, it definitely will happen. And I think that's what we're in the midst of right here with Tampa Bay. And again, yes, that coincides with a huge loss of Franco for sure.
If you want the Tampa Bay Rays, wait. The market is moving in the Jays' direction. They're expecting it to go to minus 145 here shortly. 69% of the money line tickets are on the Jays, 87% of the cash. So sit back and wait. Show discipline, show patience, and wait. On the tickets for the total, 60% of the tickets are on the under, and just 46% of the cash is on the under. Rodney Barton said, I took the plus money with Tampa Bay earlier. Let's see if it cashes. Noli knows is on the under 9 here.
There you go. And a huge shout out to Mr. Gokster 99. You're now on the list of people in my head where if you post an opinion, I minorly freak out. I'm like, oh shit, Mr. Gokster said that. You're on the list, pal. Awesome call on Coar last week. Noli knows likes the under. Yeah, my numbers like the under a little bit as well, Jimmy the Bag. I certainly have not bet that.
Yeah, and I'm just so fearful of this Jays lineup that I would still, if I was going to take the under, I would still want to focus on first 5 just to cut the opportunities that the Jays have down. And because that bullpen of the Rays is not being lights out, very interesting spot here that we care very much about. Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern, and we get to a gambler's first glance. St. Louis Cardinals at New York Mets. Cardinals 74-69, 35-36 on the road. New York Mets 72-73, 43-29 at home. 2 disappointing seasons from both of these clubs. The gambler's first glance, 7-1 in the last 8, is on the under 8. 75 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 9 miles per hour out to left. Young Jake Woodford on the hill for the Cardinals, coming off a good start at home versus the Dodgers. They protect him. He only went 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and a 2-1 win. Woodford 4.28 ERA, 1.39 WHIP on the season, and he's also been better on the road than he has been at home, which is an interesting stat for this young kid. 3.95 ERA, 250 opponents batting average on the road compared to at home, 4.71 ERA, 280 opponents batting average. Going up against the Stroh show, say what you want about Marcus Stroman, but the man is consistent.
Do people say bad things about him?
Yes, they do.
Oh.
do.
Dom Ricci?
No, Tommy Gunn would never. But he's very passionate on the mound, and sometimes that gets in the way. But I'm just so impressed at what he gives you day in, day out. Last start, he went 6 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walk, 7 Ks, and a 3-2 loss at the Marlins. They're 9-12 when he's on the hill, but a 2.87 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. Taylor MacArthur loving the first 5 under here, couldn't pull on the full game, and Noli No says he missed the 5 in that first 5. And Unc Oliver has got the first 5 rated R parlay. Rays first 5, Reds first 5, Red Sox first 5. Christopher Carter says McNeil's batting under 180 with runners in scoring position. Unbelievable they keep playing him. Mr. Goger says pulled the trigger on New York Mets to score first at plus 101. Mets have a much better effort here. Cardinals versus righties, just a disaster this year. Their offseason moves have not worked out for them. 235 with a 675 OPS. Mets versus righties, 252, 758 OPS, and both bullpens have been quite good over the last 30 days. Let's just set the table for Pete and watch him roll here. This is Mets Cards. Mets open up at minus 146. A 24-cent move towards them, and this total that was initially juiced to the over 8 is now juiced to the under 8. Pistol Pete, take it away.
People don't. Who doesn't like Stroman?
He takes a lot of flack. Up here. I mean, part of the reason was, the circumstances that he left Toronto, but then when he opted out last year after that calf strain and things like that, he's taking heat, and there's a lot of people that don't trust him, but I stand up for him as much as I can.
I want to know who's been saying shit about Stroman. I like the Mets here. It's a big line. I had a modest losing day yesterday, but I was all over St. Louis. That was my one big winner yesterday in several different ways. And it's a big line for the Mets, but I took him. Stroman is chugging along, doing okay. Until at some point he may break down, but all my indicators indicate that he should be okay here. And the Mets, Woodford looks according to my numbers a little bit iffy, and I'm interested that people like the under so much. I like the St. Louis team total unders, but I like the Mets maybe first 5 team total over, and I definitely already bet the Mets. It's going up. I like the Mets first 5. I like the Mets team total overs. I like St. Louis team total under. I'm all over the Mets here. I might be wrong, but I'm all over them.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. I never saw a 5 available here. Let's see. Was there ever a 5? I never saw a 5 available first 5. Sitting at 4.5. I think the Mets first 5 makes sense. You think that the Mets offense, their issues have been really against lefties, not against righties.
Yeah. This is going to be one of those games where, and I do this a lot in baseball, where I have a lot of different plays that are all highly correlated. Of course, I bet them appropriately so that they're all individually very small bets, but overall it's a big bet. They're all highly correlated, and if I'm correct, most or all of them win. So I'm already on the Mets -1 and Mets first 5, and I'm probably going to be on the St. Louis team total under and the Mets team total over as well.
Makes sense. Trotwam leading no run first inning. Uncle Oliver saying Stroman will get touched before 5. Trusty says this game scares me. I've stopped playing baseball, but this is a must win for both teams. Morgan Spooner says, when I bet against the Cards, I like to add a small bet on Goldie to hit a homer. Seems to do it always hits when I'm against the Birds. Sharpie says Mets -1 first 5 at plus 115. Let's go, Pete. I am now being talked into the Mets first 5. I would like to back that as well. I would like to back Stroman here. And
Oliver says Stroman will get touched before the first 5. I wonder why he says that. I don't think he's going to be lights out, but I'm expecting, another roughly 6-inning, 2-run start.
And Noli No says under playoff type game. I know you got much better numbers when you bet these, so do you not want to make anything official here? Or would you like to?
I'll make Mets -1 an official play. That'll make official even at the current numbers. Mets -1. We'll keep a brisk pace here. I'll just take the pinnacle numbers -170 on the money line, and on the run line. What do we look? I can't even find it. Where the hell is it? I can't find it. I can't find it, Jimmy DeBay. On the run line plus 125. So I'll take that one. Wow, man. A lot of money coming in on the Mets, but I agree with it. -1 at -170, plus 125, and I'm probably also going to be on the St. Louis full game team total under, and maybe the Mets team total overs.
Big bets coming in on the Mets. Big bets. There's 2,446 tickets in. It's 50-50 with the number of tickets. but 85% of the cash on the Mets. Then you have 62% of tickets on the over and 85% of cash on the over, which is very, very interesting. 85% of cash on the over and the market moving towards the under. Huh. I
kind of like the Mets team total overs, but St. Louis team total unders as well.
Billy Briz looking for the first 5 numbers. I'll give them to you right now on the money line, and then we will move on. But Mets first 5 minus a half is going to be added to my card here. Okay. And we have the Mets first 5 right now are between minus 170 and minus 177, depending on where you shop.
Yeah, I mean I'm not going to give that as an official play. I'll just keep it light and simple. Mets -1. I think it's a very good spot for them, and all the other stuff I'll just keep in my spreadsheet, not make public. But yeah, definitely leaning St. Louis. I'm going to be on St. Louis team total under. Maybe Mets team total overs, although I haven't bet that one yet, and probably not the Mets first 5 at that line, just because I've already put all my money on the -1 line for this game. So probably keep it there.
And Sharpie is taking the Mets -1, first 5 to plus 115. And Joshua Haywood can't believe what he's seeing. Loshak, he says.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. I'm also, everyone knows that one of the many reasons why I'm not in the elite tier of handicappers is because I'm superstitious, and I'm open about it, and I am. My superstition for this show, I'm pushing my mustache to the side. I think that's good luck, Jimmy the Bag. I think I'm going to have a winning day, partially because of that.
I know it is. 7:20 p.m. Eastern, next stop for Pistol Pete and myself and everybody in the chat. Colorado Rockies 66-78, 21-51 on the road at the Braves, 76-66, 37-34 at home. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. 82 Fahrenheit, overcast, 4 miles per hour sideways out to the left field pole. So slightly out. John Gray, the Gray Wolf, going up against Tuki Toussaint. John Gray, 7-10, 4.18 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, 131 in the third, 133 Ks, 54 walks, 15 home runs. His last start, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 8 Ks, and a 7-4 loss at home versus the Giants. At home, like a bunch of these Rockies these days, he's better numbers in the thin air than he does when he hits the road. At home, 5-4, 3.79 ERA, 2.01 opponent's batting average. On the road, though, 2-6, 4.68 ERA, 2.87 opponent's batting average. Going up against Tukey, who's not looked good. They're protecting him. They're afraid to let him see the lineup too many times. Last start, he went 3 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 hit, 1 homer, 4 walks, 3 Ks, and 4.2 loss at home versus the Nats. At home, he's been terrible. But his opponent's batting average is lower. He's just walking too many batters. He's got a 5.21 ERA, and so he's had much rougher numbers at home. John Gray has had much rougher numbers on the road. Rockies versus righties last 30 days, 235, 736 OPS. Braves versus righties last 30 days, 248, 784 OPS. Braves bullpen has been good last while, 3.83 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. And the Rockies bullpen was starting to pitch well, kind of falling back of late, but 4.43 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. This is an interesting one here. Braves, Rockies. Let's get a market for Pete and watch them roll here. We have the Braves opening up at minus 168, an 18-cent move to the Colorado Rockies, now minus 150. And this total sitting at 9, a slight 4-cent move towards the over. Pete, take it away.
Yeah, kind of a no-brainer here. First 5 over 4.5 minus 117. That's the current line at Pinnacle. You basically said it. Gray is okay, but seems a bit off right now. And of course, the Atlanta lineup is tough. Toussaint, not terrible, but kind of vulnerable. They're being safe with him. You know what I mean? It's like with him, it's like when I'm, giving a bet and I'm like, I don't know, it could lose. My overall record is good, but the line is high, but I'm going to give it any, That's times of trouble. They have no confidence in Toussaint here. I think even if he's good, it'll be 5 innings and maybe 2 runs, and Gray could easily give up 3. So over 4.5 minus 117 current line of Pinnacle. That will definitely be a play for me. If it loses, that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm not saying it's definitely going to win. I'm just saying I'm on it. 4.5 minus 115. Atlanta over.
That spot makes sense to me. Against John Gray, these Braves are hitting just 179, but they're 722 OPS. So they're 14 for 78, just 14 for 78, but 9 of those 14 hits are for extra bases, including 4 jacks. Against Tukey, 5 for 14. That bet makes a ton of sense to me. That makes a
Yeah.
ton of sense to me.
I mean, look, both starting pitchers have a nice high upside. So if if one of them comes in here and throws 5 shutout innings, that won't be a shock. Here I am being safe about my own bet where I criticized the Braves handling of Toussaint as safe. But yeah, I'm taking the over 4.5 minus 117. It's a very low total, all things considered, and makes me a little nervous actually. But
yeah, and so does the market, I guess. 54% of tickets on the under, 90% of cash on the under. That's interesting. And then you have 31% of the tickets on the money line on the Rockies, but 47% of the cash. And they're saying that the Rockies, Colorado will go down to plus 130 imminently. So if anybody is interested in backing the Rockies, bet them now. Bet them now. That's very, very, very interesting that so much money would be in on the under, which does give me pause. I like the look, and I'm going to look into it a little more before I move on it. But that makes sense to me, your whole breakdown. All right, let's move on. 8:05 p.m. Eastern, Houston Astros at Texas Rangers. 53-90 are the Rangers, but 31-38 at home. Going up against the Astros, 39-32 on the road. We're at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Could the roof be open? I'm going to try and get some more information, but it's a nice night in Texas. 86 Fahrenheit clear, 10 miles per hour sideways in. You'd think this would be a spot where they might open up the roof. Greinke, 11-5, 3.66 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 110 Ks and 159 2/3. His last start was at Texas right here, and he got smoked. 4 innings, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 1 K, and a 13-2 loss. And that's not been his MO. He's been great on the road this year. It's at home where he's been getting touched. 5-4, 4.46 ERA, 276 opponent's batting average. On the road this year, 6-1. That was his first loss of the year. 2.89 ERA, 225 opponent's batting average. Jordan Lyles, look, I don't know what this guy's going to do night in and night out. He seems to be able to take down the weak lineups and get destroyed by the strong lineups. He's coming off a 7-inning nice start, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and 3-1 win at Arizona. But the Astros are hitting 289, 791 OPS versus righties. Rangers also hitting righties quite well of late, 279, 751 OPS. Rangers bullpen is been good. The Astros bullpen has not been good. Astros bullpen last 30 days, 4.39 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Let's move over to the market and see what Pete thinks about this spot here. Texas at home to the Astros. And by the way, Pop Sports Radio is going to be at these games throughout the week. I'm not sure if they're going to be at this game. Jose, this one? Not this one. No. When are you guys going to be there?
The 16th.
16th. Okay, so on Thursday night, Pub Sports Radio is going to be at Globe Life Field doing what we do, getting drunk, enjoying sports. So here we go, Pete. This is the spot. The Astros open up at minus 199. They're just minus 202 now, just a 3-cent move towards them. But this total has gone from 9 at minus 110 to 9 minus 117, juiced to the over. And actually half the other books have moved it to 9.5. Interesting spot here. Astros Rangers, take it away.
Yeah, yesterday I was all over Texas and the under. Nailed it, baby. I don't know. Yeah, that's a perfect example of I have really no explanation. It was a huge win for Houston, and Houston is a little bit Yankees-like in that they tend to be overvalued, not nearly in the same category, but somewhat similar at times. Especially as a road favorite against a team that's much worse on paper, but that wasn't the case yesterday. Here, my numbers also are indicating that Texas might be a good play again, but I don't trust my numbers. And most of the time I do, but in this situation, I'm starting to not trust my numbers, and that does sometimes happen in September. I get a bunch of big underdogs that my numbers are indicating have value, and I ignore them. And that's what the case is here. Numbers like Texas, I'm not going to bet it. Numbers like the under, I'm not going to bet it. Lyles have had a pretty good read on, I think, in our videos as well, Jimmy the Bag. I have a pretty good read on when he's likely to do better or worse. This is not a good spot for him, according to my numbers. So, but the line is just too big, according to my other numbers for Texas as well. Greinke probably will be okay. It's going to be a pass for me. Maybe Texas team total under is what I would be thinking about, maybe. And I might wind up being on that, but I haven't bet it yet.
Interesting. Expecting a bounce back spot for Greinke. Interesting. Against him, the Rangers bet 316 with an 844 OPS. Against Lyles, 245 with a 752 OPS. By the way, Razor Sharp Picks horse racing show tomorrow. Yes, I will be on it. Has the esteemed trainer Carl Broberg will be on the show. One of the winningest trainers in North America. So that's so exciting. That will be on the Razor Sharp Picks horse racing show tomorrow night. That's so cool that you have Broberg coming on. I love it. Okay, so George Gutierrez in the house. Great to see you, George. Larry Gar says tons of action on the under. Let's take a closer look at what the cash has done here in this Texas-Houston spot. We have 3,076 tickets in. 77% of the tickets are on the Astros and 88% of the cash. But look at this. 35% of the tickets on the under. 99% of the cash on the under. Wow. And that's gone from 9 to 9.5. Can anybody see if we can gather information on whether that roof will be open? Because I could just imagine a big bet made on the under, and then you find out that the roof's open, and it would be extremely, extremely bothersome. There's George Gutierrez. Thank you so much for the dono. Means the world to us. We love working for Pub Sports Radio. We love it. So the support that you give, it just means the world. So thank you so much. And a lot of respect coming in, Pete, for the look that you have here. With
I'm great. Yeah, this might be my new superstitious look. I feel like I'm like a scumbag from Florida, maybe from like the 80s style, old style scum. Although there's still a ton of scumbags in Florida. Florida is quietly one of the scummiest states in the entire nation. I like Florida. Yeah. I might
8 p.m. Eastern. Next up, L.A. Angels at Chicago White Sox. Angels 70-73, 32-39 on the road. Chicago White Sox 82-61, 48-25 at home. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. 76 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 12 miles per hour out to right center. Packy Naughton 0-1, 2.57 ERA, 1.43 WHIP. Just 14 innings, but he's being tricky, sneaky. He's a soft tossing lefty, and it takes a while for players to get accustomed to what's going to happen, and he gets a lot of soft contact, and he's yet to allow a home run in 14 major league innings. His last start, he went 5 innings, 2 hits, didn't allow a run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and a 4-0 win at the Padres. Going up against Giolito. Giolito coming off a poor start. No, I mean, he only went a 4 1/3 at home versus the Pirates. Allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. But he's had a good year. 3.69 ERA, 1.11 WHIP. Angels aren't hitting righties. They're just not hitting righties. 226, 650 OPS. White Sox versus lefties, 283, 791 OPS. They're starting to rake lefties again. Angels bullpen has been poor most of the year. It is again poor the last 30 days. 4.49 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. White Sox bullpen 4.11 ERA, 1.19 WHIP last 30 days. And Tim Anderson, the straw that stirs the drink, is expected to be back in the lineup for this game. Here we go. White Sox. Oh, I guess it's not going to be Giolito. It's off the board. I guess it might not be Giolito. We do not have this on the board right now. Interesting. Any thoughts on Packy Naughton against these lefties?
I don't know. I'm still looking at him, and I want to shout out to Noli Knows for giving me encouragement and helping me out with my appearance. My appearance is not my strong suit when it comes to all this shit. All right, so this game, I'm not even seeing. Is Giolito confirmed? I'm not seeing any line.
He must not be.
Except an extremely early opening line at Bet Online, which is interesting, but is not necessarily something I want to give as an official pick. I only like to give picks on market lines. I'm definitely going to be leaning towards the White Sox hitting Naughton. So maybe White Sox team total overs, depending what the lines are. His last start was an excellent start at San Diego, but San Diego is having all kinds of offensive trouble right now, and this is going to be a much more difficult assignment for him. Obviously, Anderson coming back helps, but the lineup is great in general. So we'll see what the lines are when they come out. But I'm thinking that it's a good spot for the White Sox offense here. And
a tropical storm, hurricane down south right now, so I'm being told that the roof will definitely be closed at Globe Life Field, Arlington, Texas, this evening. Okay, so we're waiting for the line in that spot. I've got very little action on this card today. Interesting. It's funny. You start pulling in all this cash, and you're like, do I really want to risk it in September baseball? And
you got to be careful. I bet September baseball heavily because I concentrate on it. I casually look at college and NFL when I want to, but you want to be very careful about biting off more than you can chew, and also thinking that everything that you would know if you were looking at something fully, if you're not actually looking at it fully. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy the Bag.
And By the way, Birdie says, Pete, you are magnificent. My wife loves your look. If she keeps saying it, I'm going to get pissed.
Oh, God, you're going to make me cry. That will not go with this look, right? I need to have a voice to go with this look, though.
No, sobbing. Sobbing might go with it.
Would it? It could?
Yeah. Not a slight tear, but like full sobbing.
It's a crazy fucking world. Who knows what goes with what anymore? You know what I'm saying?
Athletics.
It'll get me canceled, but you know what I'm saying. Who knows what goes with what?
Athletics at Kansas City Royals next up. Athletics 77-66, 37-32 on the road. Royals 65-78, 34-35 at home. We're at Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. 76 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. And the Royals have been very good to me over the last month or so. Montas on the bump, 12-9, 3.57 ERA, 1.20 whip, 163 and 2/3, 181 Ks, 47 walks, 18 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and a 5-1 win at home versus the White Sox. And I was all over him in that start. That was a double-up spot. That was against Keuchel. It's very, very easy. Just a gift. Jackson Kowar on the other side, a highly thought-of pitcher with a lot of potential, and Mr. Gokster called out that he was going to get violently. He was going to, I believe the term was violated.
Yeah, abused.
Abused. Yeah, and he certainly did. 6 earned runs, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 homers, 3 walks, 7 Ks, and a 7-3 loss at the Orioles. A's are not hitting righties very hard right now. 247.25 OPS. Same can be said about the Royals. 253.706 OPS last 30 days. A's bullpen's falling apart, surprisingly. Now a 5.35 ERA, 1.34 whip over the last 30. And the Royals bullpen has been very good. Very, very good. All right, let's set the table here for Pete. Oakland, Kansas City Royals. And where are we? Sorry, just taking a second. Here we go. This total opened up at 9 and a little bit of movement, like about a 5-cent move towards the under. It was slightly juiced to the over, now slightly juiced to the under. And the A's, a 13-cent move towards them, opening at minus 157, now minus 170. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, kudos once again. I think this is the most we've shouted out any low bagger in a while for an individual pick. There are many who are deserving. I'd like to shout out Nutflush Allen for his awesome information on San Francisco. Is remarkably accurate. Kowar, it was, he did get abused in the first inning, but then he settled down. The guy clearly has potential. He just needs to put it all together. This is classic, inconsistency with young starters with high potential. They're inconsistent start to start. They're inconsistent within starts, and we're seeing that from Kowar. Montas, though, is the opposite. He is very consistent and good, reliably excellent. This should be another relatively easy spot for him according to my numbers, and my numbers like the under here, depending on what we should expect from Kowar, but maybe we should just go to Mr. Gokster and see what he has to say about that. My numbers like the under. My numbers like the KC team total under as well. And I'll probably be on both of those. And that's what I got for you right now.
I'll tell you what Mr. Gokster says about this part. He says Oakland can show up drunk and hit Kowar. He says guys got butter sticks his fingers.
Now maybe he's just like taunting us. Maybe he's just giving a shtick. Really? Why are you so down on Kowar? I mean, yeah, he's got some issues. We all have issues. We all got a little issues here and there. But, all right, he gave up 4 runs in the first inning. But then he settled down after that. At some point, he's going to figure out how to settle down starting in the first inning, right? No?
He fucking hates him, Pete.
Well, what is this? Is Mr. Gokster also one of them talking shit about Stroman? What the hell's going on here? I don't know. Kowar is, has some issues, but he also has a high ceiling, and it looks to me like nerves. He just needs to, settle down, become a mature adult, a mature major league pitcher, settle his nerves in the first inning, in the 6th inning, and then you got it. Now you're a starting pitcher who can give you reliably 6 innings, 2 runs, and at some point I think that's going to happen with him. I like the under here.
He sounds like he's got fat, slippery fingers as well. Fat, butter-thick fingers.
The opposite of he's putting butter on his fingers. The opposite of the spider tack. Wow, maybe someone, pranked him and said, you should put butter on your fingers. That'll make your pitches really jump. And he believed him. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
The A's are 5 for 8 against him with 2 doubles. He's hitting .625 with a 1.602 OPS against Kowar. Against Frankie Montas, 235, 617 OPS. The last start against the White Sox was, it wasn't a dominant performance. He allowed 6 hits and 2 walks, 7 Ks, but it was close to that. He was so completely in control at all times was Frankie Montas. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. Wow. So 2,900 tickets in, 83% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on the A's, then 77% of tickets and 62% of cash on the over as well. The over as well. Noli Note says I lean under here, but I haven't bet it. Huh. And only a 13-cent move with all the money going one way. We've also seen the move towards the under. What was it total for the over-under? Was that sorry, let me just get this one last time. Was it the most of the money's on the over? Wow. So, what is your expectation of Jackson Kowar here?
Jackson Kowar?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect him to be dominant, but I think he'll be all right. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be okay, and I think he's going to, probably give up a few runs here and there. I'm going to take the under officially, Jimmy.
All right, let's give it to under 9. What's the line?
I'll take 110 at Pinnacle.
Under 9 at minus 110. Huh.
I'll take it. If it loses, it loses. But my numbers like it. I don't know what the hell Mr. Ghoster says he's going to get abused again. I mean, this is also a situation where he could get abused. Go 5 innings, gives up 6 runs. Montas comes in 7 innings, 1 run, and the final score is 6-1, and you cash your under relatively comfortably.
Yeah, Sharper talking about Kowar's numbers in the minors. I gave them all out in his first couple starts. I broke down all of his AAA numbers and how good he looked and how I had very high expectations for him. And then I took it right in the prison pocket in this last start. And
Williams, look at that, over 9. People are liking the overs. What the hell?
All right. I want to back Frankie Montas again. I want to back him again, and I don't want anything to do with the bullpen. And the Royals kind of keep grinding at you. I'm interested in the A's first 5 minus a half as well. Okay, so let's move on. And we get to a very interesting game here. It is 9:45 p.m. Eastern, and this is a beauty here that we want to talk about badly. San Diego Padres at San Francisco Giants. Padres, Giants. Now, I doubled up on the Giants. Full game -1, and first 5 minus a half. And I the red flag, I shouldn't have doubled up on it. Now, I should have been more questioning why the line was the way it was. And I didn't dive into this feeling that the Giants would have partied too hard last night. And what do I know? And how do I don't know. But I can tell you this, that our producer, Jose, is off of back-to-back losses. So off back-to-back losses now. So he is sitting at minus 1.57 units. And baseball can get away from you. It can get away from you.
Oh, yeah.
And when I saw him today, I noticed how serious he was. And I also noticed that he was growing the mustache back. And I had enormous respect for this young man who knows what's important in life. And that's the strength and guidance that a mustache can give a young man. So I expect with this newfound mustache that Jose is going to find glory. Glory, and winners. So please welcome to the show with his newfound stash, Jose Bouquet.
Gentlemen, how are we?
We're good.
Good. Glad to hear it, then. Glad to hear it.
Wipe that fucking smile off your face, Jose. You're down 1.57 units. You're growing your mustache. You're poised. We're all expecting you to deliver gold here. So let's stay serious. Let's stay sharp, and let's deliver a winner.
Yes, let's do so. So I heard, I believe you said it was Dommy Gun, correct? Saying that the Giants would come out a little flat today.
That was Birdie.
Birdie said it was. Apologies, Birdie. I need to give you your full credit. You have some of the best comments in the league. But I kind of agree with him. I was going back and forth. I thought, well, I mean, the Giants are a professional ball club. I mean, they've got a bunch of veterans. They wouldn't be satisfied with just the playoffs. And then you look at Jake Arrieta's record against these Giants. He's got some success, and I was pretty surprised to see it. Of course, he's got a long track record with the pillar veterans they have, Crawford, Longoria, Posey, Belt. But I obviously we don't have a lineup yet because it's so early, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see those guys take a day off. Manager, congratulations, vets. Take your day off. Enjoy us making the playoffs, but we still have a division to win. We're still close division. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think it's going to be a tight game. The Padres are desperate for wins nowadays, and Jake Garrett is not the guy they turn to, but I'm going to put my faith in him today on a day where I think the Giants could come out slow. I'm going to go into full game under 9, -1.
Full game under 9 and -110. And Birdie is also on that under. So he's not only back in the Padres, but he's also on the under as well, expecting a better start from Marietta. So, look, we've watched him this year. He's been awful. 5-12, 7.04 ERA, 1.73 whip, auto fade. But his last start at home versus the Astros was much better. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Going up against Desclafani coming off a more difficult start for him in the thin air, Colorado. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. But he's been very good this year. 3.33 ERA, 1.12 whip. The Padres aren't hitting. Last 30 days versus righties, 210, 658 OPS. Giants versus righties, 245, 759 OPS. Ski Profit says Giants have scored 6+ runs in 8 straight games. T-Mac says Birdie's right. They're going to be flat. Tommy Gunn says that's why I like the first 5 under. Slatsy's also on the Giants team total over 4.5. And Lit Picks, our guy Lit Picks says Arrieta gave up 22 runs in his last 5. Fade Giants team total over 4.5. Okay,
and that's what I was thinking too. Honestly, that was my whole thought process going into it. It was either Giants team total or the under because I think they come out flat. So I honestly battled back and forth between the two. And if the Giants team total over hits and the game ends up going over, you guys will find me with a noose and some like a step ladder perhaps, and I'll hang myself for not picking the right pick.
Oh, you're too young. Just jerk it. And all your pains will go away. The totals.
Autoerotic?
Yeah, just jerk it. Just don't worry about it, man. If you're ever upset, just find a dark corner and jerk it. The total's gone from 8.5 to 9. The Giants have gone from -154 to -168. And let's go. You know what you could do the jerk and choke if you're so interested in the news.
Yeah.
Just do a jerk and choke.
That's what I was thinking.
Do that. That's another way of mixing your need for the news and busting.
Pete, do you have any input on this? I would love to hear.
I'm just observing this sad display of sports betting content here. Streaming live at Pub Sports Radio, Jimmy the Bag, Jose, and Loshak. No, I'm kidding around. I think that you mean comment about the Padres game or about jerking it as a response to stress in life. I think that it's a tough situation. Arrieta's definitely auto fade. But you're right. This might be. He's also been off for a while. If ever there's a spot where he might be better than advertised, it would be this one. The full game under is not bad because even if Arrieta does get crushed, I mean, look, auto fade means 5-3 at best. Even if he gives up 6, your under is definitely not dead on arrival. Even in that case. So the more my numbers don't like the under. But the more everyone's talking about it situationally, it's looking and feeling better and better to me. And you're right. Waiting for the lineup is, if big bats are out for San Francisco, which is definitely possible, despite what the fact that they are not going to be satisfied with just what they did yesterday. Then the number will drop to 8.5. I'm actually thinking about making the under an official play for myself. You guys have me convinced.
Jake Arrieta has good numbers against the Giants, but I don't believe in that. This is a different Jake Arrieta, not the star that he was for so many years. So they're hitting 197, 583 OPS, but this Giants team is filled with vets, so they have a long history against Arrieta. Desclafani has good numbers against pretty good numbers here against the Padres. 218 with a 695 OPS, so 24 for 40. It's 24 for 110, but of those 24 hits, 6 are jacks, so 6 home runs there. Creo says an under with Arrieta on the mound sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Sharpie says no way I would bet an under with Arrieta and numbers the Padres have versus Desclafani.
I mean, if it comes to this, everyone in the chat seems to be so against this under. I mean, the chat might have me switching to that Giants team total over. If this is what we're here for as well, Jimmy. This is why we talk it out, like you say, Jimmy. We use the chat. Why I think I might have to just switch to this Giants team total over. It just like I understood going in, like it's Jake Arrieta. He's ass now. He's not good anymore. But it seems like it's probably the play just to fade Arrieta. Even if let's say Arrieta goes 5 innings, 2 earned runs, the Padres bullpen has not really been all that. It has not been good this year. It honestly, you could credit it for having this team being so bad recently. If they had some decent bullpen arms in there, they'd probably be right there in a playoff position. But they're outside looking in right now. I think the Reds still have the lead on them. So I guess you know what? I'm gonna listen to the chat. Giants team total over 4.5 right now. It's at -127. So a little juicy. But it's like you guys say, it's Arrieta day. It's tough. It's tough to bet an under with Jake Arrieta on the mound. So it's going to be interesting.
What is your juice there for the Giants team total over 4.5?
Pinnacle has it at -127 right now.
-127 for Jose. When we go to take a look at the cash flow in this game, it scares me. I thought that there would be more money on the other side. 3,946 tickets in, 91% of the tickets on the Giants, 98% of the cash. Then you have 35% of the tickets on the under and 92% of the cash on the under. So big bets coming in on the under. North Editor says, I don't think the San Francisco team's anywhere near satisfied with the playoff clinch. They knew that was coming. Noli Note says, Padres are in the same position the Red Sox are in right now. And Creo says, hope we didn't just take you off a cashing play, but I hope the team total hits Jose. Sharpie says, in 3 starts versus the Padres, he's given up 3 runs in 2 starts. I see 3 runs. So not 3 runs in 2 starts total, but
what if,
2 of the
so
starts.
Jimmy, we said last week 4, or I think it was 5 plays I get wrong in a row, and I have to go full stash back. Imagine if the chat just starts steering me in the wrong direction and I just start losing all these picks just because they want to see the mustache back.
It's nice to see it. It's just pencil thin right now. Can we get a close-up quick before you bounce out? Get a quick close-up of it?
I guess we can.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
it's growing back.
Yeah, no, it looks great. No, it looks great. Congratulations on your successes. I hope you catch this. Good work with the mustache. And Pete, do you have any last words? Are you making anything official here on this?
No, I mean, I think that this is a little bit similar to when after teams have done something, have achieved some milestone. It's a little bit similar to a second game of a doubleheader. I'm usually waiting for the lineup to come, because I know San Francisco wants to win, but they might still sit some guys, and then if that happens, then the team total for theirs will fall as well. So, but yeah, I'm definitely thinking about. We'll see with the lineup. I'll probably have a few bets on this game. Thinking about taking San Francisco, thinking about the under, thinking about the San Diego team total under, but we'll see.
There you have it. I've got Giants first 5 -1/2, Giants -1. I got the -1 last night, so I got -116 plus 125, worked out to a -116. Wow, and everybody on this, Jose, blaming us already if his play loses. So the guys.
Well, yeah, you guys literally made me change my pick. So yes, it would be yes, of course.
You wiped that fucking smile off your face, Jose. There he is, Jose Bouquet. Say hey play of the day. Giants team total over 4.5 at -127. Much love to you, Jose. Thank you for sharing your plan with us. Razor Sharp Pick says either Jose leaves for the rest of the show or the chat leaves. You pick.
Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks.
Next up, 10:10 p.m. Eastern, Arizona Diamondbacks at Los Angeles Dodgers, and we get to the taint play of the day. Taint play of the day is here. It is Trey Turner over a half run at -110, and Taint is heating up. No surprise to us. Taint is heating up, baby. Tank! Trey Turner, this is from our Matty I says 6-8 lifetime off of Weaver, and for leadoff spot, I believe the Dodgers score often today. Plus Weaver awful on the road. Diamondbacks 47-97, also awful on the road at 19-54 on the road. Dodgers 92-53, 50-23 at home. We're at Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, California. Chavez Ravine, baby, 70 Fahrenheit clear, 5 miles per hour out to right field. Michael Irvelina says just got back from camping and backpacking in the Grand Canyon, and I get reception to listen to the best show on the road. 1 week, no reception, back in action. We love you, Michael Irvelina. Much love to you, my guy. Okay, Luke Weaver. So the first thing was mentioned is how bad he is on the road, and it's true. At home, 3-1, 1.95 ERA, 171 opponent's batting average. Now, we're only using 51 innings of sample size on the season, but on the road, 0-3, 8.20 ERA, 3.04 opponent's batting average. His last start was at home versus the Rangers, and he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Going up against Tony Gonsolin, 2-1, 2.79 ERA, 1.47 WHIP, 38 2/3, 45 Ks, 28 walks, and 4 home runs. In his last start, he's not being stretched out, and he went 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and a 2-1 loss at the Cardinals. Against righties, 232, 680 OPS for the Diamondbacks, not hitting them. Either are the Dodgers. Dodgers aren't hitting at all. 210, 676 OPS. Diamondbacks bullpen been bad all year, especially last 30 days. No different. 4.90 ERA, 1.56 WHIP. Dodgers bullpen pitching very well and keeping them in games. 2.06 ERA, 0.99 WHIP over the last 30 days. Let's move over to the odds and hear what Pistol Pete has to say about the spot. Dodgers opened up at 233. Now they're minus 244, 11-cent move towards them. This total at 8.5. Pinnacle has just moved to 9. So has Bet Online and UWager. Expecting runs here, all from the Dodgers or from both? Pete, what's your move here?
Well, my numbers like the under. Jimmy the Bag, my numbers like the under. I think you've seen more than a few times in my life where I've liked the total. The market moves one way, and it turns out that my bet was the winner. Not necessarily every time, but we've seen it. I like the under. My numbers like the under. Luke Weaver is nothing great, nothing special, but I think maybe people are overreacting a little bit to the home road splits. Yeah, going into Miami and giving up 6 in 4 innings is embarrassing. That was also, a long while ago. Weaver's, mediocre, but that's okay for a total like this. According to my numbers, the under has some value, and I think I will give it as an official play. Gonsolin is, also sort of similar. It's kind of a wash between them. I think he has some life to him right now, though. They're both coming back from shoulder issues, which is not good. But my numbers like the under a little bit. It's going to be a bet of mine. If it's a hugely high-scoring game, then it'll be another play that I bet on, and looking back on it, thinking, what the hell am I doing? But overall, I have small confidence and trust in my bets, so I'm on it under 9, and I think I'll make it official as well.
Okay, well, let's bag and tag that under, get the line for it. Weaver
120.
minus 120.
Yeah.
All right, so Pete is on the under 9 at minus 120. Minus 120. Against Weaver, these Dodgers hitting 324 with a 949 OPS. So 23 for 71 with 2 doubles, a triple, and 4 homers. Against Gonsolin, 208 with a 665 OPS. So Gonsolin, Tommy Gunn said locked in that under. Gunn locked in that under.
Yeah.
There's Von Polo's wife, Key, who says, nice hat. I imagine she's talking to you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. See, thank you. She notices these things. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And if you have any fashion tips for me, just post them, and I will take them very seriously. Shout out to you, Key and VP.
Noli knows 9 at Chavez Ravine under, he says.
Yeah,
under. And then Tommy Gunn says, one of the things Noli taught me is the ball don't fly out of this stadium.
It's I'm not auto betting unders at Chavez Ravine like I might be more inclined to do in other places like Pittsburgh. But yeah, it's a point well put.
And Mr. Gokster says Gonsolin's the one Cowers gets his butter sticks from. Old greasy Gonsolin.
All right, okay. Maybe it's another loss. What can I tell you?
Wow, very, very, very interesting. Let's see what the cash flow is saying here in this Dodgers spot. 3,328 tickets in. Dodgers are going to go to minus 260, the site says immediately. 88% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the Dodgers. Then 45% of the tickets, 60% of cash on the over, and we're seeing it go from 8.5 to 9. And Noli says Dodgers at home under is 59%, second most profitable behind the New York Mets. Second most profitable behind the New York Mets. Much love, North Ender. Thank you for rolling with us. And Dommy Gun said line just moved to 8.5.
Okay, well, let me
So
see.
he
Okay.
got in there. Good work, Dommy. Okay, so we have the taint play of the day. Trey Turner runs over a half at -110. Pete's on the under 9 at -120. And I have done nothing. I'm going to keep an eye on the market here. And I mean, the Dodgers are just too big of a favorite right now for me to do anything except maybe a total play. And I do not believe that I think the sample size is too small to think that Weaver's just terrible on the road and excellent at home. So, but very interesting stuff. Okay, let's move on to the last game before we pick up.
Yeah, and the shoulder issues with him are not great. The fact that both of these guys are coming off of shoulder issues is a red flag for sure.
No, I get it, but the 9 is a nice spot.
Yeah.
To have to have 10 runs go against you here. The last game on the card is also our very own Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. Ron Crawford is on your Boston Red Sox.
Wow.
You're at Seattle Mariners. Ron Crawford is on Boston. T-Mobile Park, Seattle, Washington, 66 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour to right. Nathan Eovaldi, and I do believe the roof will be open. It's these late summer, fall nights. They try to keep the roof open as much as possible. Eovaldi, 10-8, 3.57 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 171 Ks, 163 and 2/3. He's been bad on the road this year. His last start was at home. It was lights out. We were on him. 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no homers, 2 walks, 8 Ks, and a 2-1 win at home versus the Rays. At home, he's 6-3 with a 2.88 ERA, 2.29 opponent's batting average. On the road, 4-5, 4.87 ERA, 2.82 opponent's batting average. Tyler Anderson, 1-1, 3.83 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. He's been good all year and been good since he's come over to the Mariners. Last start, 4 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 walks, 4 Ks, and an 8-5 win at the Astros. So that was not quite as good. At home, Tyler Anderson, 2-4, 3.23 ERA, 2.51 opponent's batting average. That's not really an important stat because he's moved all over the place, but he's been worse on the road where this year, 4-5, 4.93 ERA. Red Sox versus lefties, that number's going down fast, 249, 708 OPS. And Mariners versus righties is actually going slightly up, but they were hitting him so poorly, 224, 707 OPS. Mariners bullpen's been good all year long, and lately it's been no different. 3.51 ERA, 1.21 WHIP over the last 30 days. Red Sox bullpen 4.19 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. Here we go, Pete. Last game on the board. Boston opens up -133. They're now -137. A 4-set move towards them. And this total opened up slightly juiced to the over 8. It's now slightly juiced to the under 8. Take it away.
Yeah, I did have Seattle yesterday. I think Seattle is underrated according to my numbers as a home dog often. And in this spot, I don't like him here, and the fact that Ron Crawford calls Boston the spreadsheet play of the day makes me think that is probably the right side. Eovaldi, if the first 5 team total were 2.5 for Seattle, I would be on the under on that one, but I'm just seeing 1.5. So the whole game's going to be a pass for me, and that's about it.
Against Tyler Anderson, the Red Sox are hitting 240, but with an 876 OPS, so they're just 12 for 50, but 5 doubles, 1 triple, and 3 jacks as a part of that. And then against Eovaldi, 267 with a 715 OPS. Interesting. Okay, let's move over to the cash flow here. And final game on the card, just 1,815 tickets in. 58% of the tickets, 91% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox. 56% of the tickets, 57% of the cash on the under. Wow, so big bets made on the Boston Red Sox. Jerry Beatty says, what's the run line on the Red Sox? Why don't we move over there? Jerry, I'll give you the best that is being offered right now. On the -1.5 for the Boston Red Sox, it's between – the best line is at +1 – oh, it just moved, damn. +118 is the best move that's available at Pinnacle. So it's anywhere between +113 and +118 for the Red Sox -1.5. Brian Watson says, how do you know what the Giants did last night? Yes, that's That's the question. That's the $1 million question right
Well,
now.
I mean, Nutflush Allen reported, and I do trust his reporting a lot more than I trust mainstream media reporting. I'll put it for comparison's sake, that they did party, but just a little bit, very mild partying, according to Nutflush Allen.
What is your expectation on Eovaldi? This is a big game for the Red Sox, and I like him in big games. I think he steps up and.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Well, just in that, so the last time, so he came to Toronto in a big game 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and he was sailing. And then with or in the bottom of the fifth, the last three, it was the Jays were 7, 8, 9 in their lineup, and they all hit doubles, and two of them were like lucky doubles, just off, just past the first baseman down the line. And then things just opened up, and the Jays put up a 6th spot. But he was rolling till then. He just pitched excellently at home against the Rays. I think he continues his good pitching. Do you? Yeah,
I mean, he's my numbers have him as very reliable, relatively low volatility, which is good for a starting pitcher on the road. And if I'm leaning any which way, which I might give officially, it would be Seattle full game team total under at about 120. That, according to my numbers, does have some value. According to my numbers, small value.
I think it is time to back the Boston Red Sox and tail the big play of the day from Ron Crawford, and something that I'm going to take it on the -1 line to knock the juice off of it. But the big bets that I see that are being made on the Red Sox, and then my trust in Eovaldi, I'm going to combine that. Dommy Gunn says locked in Tampa +127, Cleveland at +109, Giants under first 5 under 5 at -110, Seattle under 8. I believe that's an 8.5, right? Not an 8 here. Sorry.
Wow, he's taking Tampa. Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, I was huge on Tampa yesterday. Huge loss.
Sorry, it is an 8. Sorry, under 8 at -115. Mets under first 5 at 4.5 and leaning under 8 in that one. And the pimp slap play today is Tampa Bay Rays.
Wow.
First 5 +0.5, looking for 5 straight from our Mike M.
Wow.
All right, let's review MLB and then step into the college football breakdown just for 3 games and for 10 minutes. So let's do that right now. And don't forget, you guys, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, week 2 of our NFL show, Beat the Line. And we beat the shit out of the books in week 1, baby. It's the most action I've ever had on a week 1. And it just felt like I was in complete control. And God, my palms just start leaking thinking about it. It just made me feel so goddamn good. Okay, so here we go. Let's review action, and then we'll move on to college football just for a few games. Here we go. The first spot on the card, the 3:10 p.m. Eastern game. Pete, you were waiting to see if there was a first 5 that you were interested in with the Indians Twins. You already gave out the full game under 6.5 at -120. Do you also want the first 5 under?
Yeah, I guess I can't just switch it, can I? I mean, I kind of let me see. Where is it? What am I seeing? Like 4?
There's nothing. Right? I mean, that's fine.
What happened?
Yeah, you can if you want. If you think the first 5 unders are the spot you want the most.
Yeah, that's the spot I want the most. But I'll just keep it one play. It's just, if it goes, the first 5 goes under and then the full game goes over, I'll eat it. Whatever, it's fine.
Okay, so there you go. And then game 2, no moves for either of us. Want to watch what happens in game 1. Then we have a lot of action in Reds Pirates. We have Pete on the under 9 at -126, and the TJ play of the day. Reds Pirates first 5 under 4.5. That's Miley up against Dylan Peters. Next up, I'm on the under 9 at -120 in Milwaukee, Detroit. And after that, we have Cubs Phillies. Pete moved on the first 5 over 5 at -109. I have 3 asterisks beside it. I think it's a very interesting look, and I think I might want a piece of it. He's also on the Cubs at +188. Cubs 188. And Birdie says Saints have some COVID issues and injury issues. God, I can't wait. I can't wait to break down NFL with you guys tonight. It's just I'm so excited to get the season started the way I have. First 5 over 4 at -125 for Pete in Marlins, Washington. And I have interest in the Marlins first 5, but I have 2 question marks beside them. I need to dig in deeper. Yankees Orioles are both stay-offs. The Kraken play of the day from Mark Sports Betting is the Rays money line at +117, and Dommy Gunn is also on the +117 for the Tampa Bay Rays at Toronto Blue Jays. God, I don't know if I want to get in the way of the Jays. Oh, and I also told you guys, if you like the Rays, wait, because money's coming in on the Jays as we speak. Arthur Meade Jr. on the Tigers plus 1.5. Next spot for us is Pete on the Mets on the -1 line, -170 and plus 125. And a gambler's first glance, that's now 7-1, is on the Mets Cardinals under 8. Dommy Gun Ricci's already on the first 5 under as well. And Mets first 5 -0.5 is going to be on my card. I'm going to be adding that. Next up, Pete is on the first 5 over 4.5 in Colorado, Atlanta. And that does make a lot of sense to me. I have the question mark beside it just because of the cash that's in on the under right now. Clearly, huge bets have come in on the under. 53% of the tickets, but 90% of the cash on the under does make me hesitate. Makes me hesitate. Astros, Rangers, no look for us. Angels, White Sox. We're still waiting to see who's pitching for the White Sox to see what the market is going to be. Then Pete is on the under 9 in Athletics, Royals, and I'm going to add the A's first 5 -0.5. I just really love what I'm seeing from Montas right now. Then Giants -1 for me at -116, and the first 5 -0.5, -130. And Jose moved from the full game under to the Giants team total over 4.5, -127. And Birdie is not only on the under, but he's on the Padres for a big score because last night the Giants clinched the playoffs, and it's interesting to see how they fire today and how much that meant to them. Because I still think this is a very veteran group that knows how important the division is and know how important this game is, but that line should be bigger, so I get it. Then the taint play of the day is Trey Turner over a half run at -110. Pete's on the under 9 at -120. That's Arizona Dodgers. And then I added the full game -1 with the Red Sox, and the spreadsheet play today is the Red Sox money line. Does that all sound right, Pete?
Yeah, it sounds great. I just want to address a few comments here. Nello says Loshak needs a nap or a coffee. I think I feel great. I think I look great. I'm going to screenshot this, put this shit on my OkCupid profile, Nello. Hell yeah. And then Williams Fun Video says, Peter, is baseball your favorite sport? From a handicapping perspective, I would say yes. It used to be college basketball, but definitely, my edge has been by far the most consistent in baseball, modest but consistent. So my answer to that from a handicap perspective would be yes. Williams Fun Videos.
Beautiful. All right. That is MLB.
There you go. Noli No says, you look great, Pete. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to screenshot this, put it up on my Bumble profile, baby.
We move on to NCAA football. So, look, we stand by our transparency and honesty, and at times it's embarrassing. And I got off to a spectacular start at 14-3 college football, and I gave a ton back. I went 2-7, down 5.95 units last week. So I'm 16-10 plus 4.75 units ROI plus 18.27%. And when I look back at it, the North Carolina A&T and the North Dakota plus 6.5, they looked so good for 3 quarters, and then they got hurt badly in the fourth quarter. They just got whittled down. And so those were bad losses. Coastal Carolina first half -15.5. Maybe that was too public. Arizona -2, fading San Diego State was, clearly a giant mistake. Colorado State first half -3.5 cashed, full game lost. Wyoming, Northern Illinois under 44.5 was a bad loser. Temple Akron, the market moved heavy against me, and it was the easiest casher. And then UAB was terrible. So a rough week, and kind of gets me back knowing how difficult this is, and not to get too caught up in my 14-3 head start. Pete, these are the 3 games that we're going to do here. Boston College, Temple, Tulsa, Ohio State, Colorado State, Toledo. Is there any of those games that you want to look into while I'm breaking these down?
What's the last one you're going to do?
The last one I'm going to do is Colorado State at Toledo. It's Glass Bowl in Toledo, Ohio.
All right, yeah, I'll look into that, and I'll do some speed capping here, like chess when they have the time limit. Pow, 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 pow. Yeah, we'll see what I can come up with. Colorado State.
All right, let's go. Knizzle says my early plays are Ohio State -26.5 and Coastal -13. And yes, I am in for Motorola phone. Love it. Thank you for joining us for Motorola phone. All right, let's go into college football right now. I start my card, and I'm with Dick Schnizzle on buying low on Ohio State here with the need to smash Tulsa. But we'll get into that game number 2. And don't worry, we'll break down Thursday's games. We'll break down Friday's games as the week goes on. But I just wanted to pick out the 3 spots I like the most on the Saturday card and get after that. And we start with Boston College at Temple. I want to give a shout out first off to Maxwell Smart, who got me off of Akron. I was only on the total over, and I wanted Akron until I heard of his belief in Temple. And I watched that game pretty closely, and what I saw was that Temple was coming together. So it took them a while. We know that they only returned 58% of their players, but they were coming together, and they got better as the game went on. I'm on Temple at plus 16 at minus 110. Let's just take a look at what the market is right now. Let's move over to spreads and totals here for Temple at home against Boston College. Boston College just had a huge injury to their quarterback, and Jerkovic is a big piece of their puzzle, and we'll go over all that in a second. So it's down to 15.5 at Heritage and Sports Interaction. There are still 16s at the other books, and I expect it to go down. Temple's total opened up at 60. It's now at 57.5. Let's go. Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And Birdie says Star Stanley Cup futures already locked and loaded. And Domri Ricci is on Army first half for me. That's an interesting spot against Connecticut. You have to wonder if they're going to put their foot down on the throats of Connecticut, if that's something that they will do. I'm very interested in that game as well. But let's do this right now. So first off, Boston College won at home 51-0 over Colgate in week 1. Jerkovic was the ACC co-quarterback of the week for that game. He threw for 303 yards, 3 touchdowns in 3 quarters, basically. Then they win 45-28 at UMass, and they lose Jerkovic in the first half. They lose him to a hand injury, and he's done for the season. So senior Dennis Grosel comes in, and he went 11 for 14 for 199 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions against an extremely weak UMass defense. It was a very conservative approach they had. And, of course, now with the week of practice with Grosel, they're going to open up the playbook. They're going to figure out how to open up the playbook with him. But to what extent? Against this terribly weak UMass team, there was a run back for UMass. At one point, UMass was down 38-28 as 37.5-point dogs. So we know that week 1 loss at Rutgers was embarrassing for Temple. They were only out-yarded by 100 yards, and they lost by 40-plus points. They turned the ball over 5 times. They looked bad. They lost their quarterback, DeJuan Mathis. He hurt his ankle against Rutgers. He's not on the injury report now. And, 3 years ago, DeJuan Mathis was one of the most highly thought-of prospects coming out of high school in the country. And he has an opportunity here to show up and show out. And I think he can do that at home in Temple's home opener. Freshman backup Justin Lynch looked much better than he did in the Rutgers game. My goodness. 19 for 23, 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. And now they have a legitimate backup for this spot. And Randall Jones, they need some wide receivers to step up, and he did that. 7 catches for 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's the senior and the leader of the wide receiving corps for Temple. So I'm on Temple at plus 16 at minus 110. I think this is going to go down, and I like the spot I'm on very much. Dommy Gunn says Temple Rutgers rivalry. Also, both schools are close to each other. Dommy says, Jim, I think if anything, Army will dominate like they have the first half and maybe not cover the 33 full game. By the way, Noli's on the under in this Boston College Temple spot. This is moving down quickly. And Hoops 590 loves the over in the Army game. Okay, and he's already on New Mexico plus 10 and the money line. All right, so there you go. My first spot on the board is Temple at plus 16. At minus 110. We move on to 330. Oh, and let's just see if there's any cash flow involved now that we can look at and see if we have any. We're starting to get information on cash flow. So in this Temple spot, they're going to give us any information here with Temple. Very few tickets in. 718 tickets in. So not many. 40% of the tickets are on Temple and 61% of the guys. That's spread on Temple. So I like seeing that. Okay, let's move on to Tulsa at Ohio State, Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. Tulsa looks bad this year. Well, like a lot of schools, they opened with a terrible performance and then looked much better in week 2. They lose 19-17 at home to FCS UC Davis. It's just atrocious. Then they lose 28-23 to Oklahoma State and look much better. Now, I love the idea of Temple's first 2 games on the road, coming home and expecting an improvement. I I think that the 28-23 at Oklahoma State was your buy low spot on Tulsa. And now I think the buy low spot is switched to Ohio State. Because of that Ohio State loss to Oregon last week, Ohio State's going to have to smash some of these teams if they want any hope at big games come playoff time. Ohio State was torched 2 games in a row on the ground. Ibrahim went for 163 yards against them. Verdell went for 161 yards against them. There's nobody on Tulsa that can do that. Deneric Price and Anthony Watkins, sure, they each ran for a touchdown, but Prince ran for 37 yards and Watkins ran for 34 yards. They just simply do not have a running game that can hurt Ohio State. And C.J. Stroud, 35 of 54 for 484 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's the second most yards in Ohio State history. Just 15 short of Dwayne Haskins' record. I think that this is Ohio State's smash and grab spot, personally, and I think that they need to run up the score, and they need to show what they can do at home in front of their fans. And so let's see. This game pops off at 3:30, and let's just pull up the market here for the Ohio State game. And here we go. I opened up at 26. I got in at 26.5. It's now at 27 at Bodog and Sports Interaction. Still 26.5 everywhere else. This total is sitting at 61 at a couple books, 60 at some, and still hanging at 59.5 at Bet365. Ixnizzle said, I agree totally with your breakdown. I love hearing that. Ixnizzle is Ohio's finest. So I'm going to get on this first half as soon as I can as well. And this will be a double up spot for me. Okay, so then we move on to the final. Oh, and let's take a look at the cash for that one Ohio State game. See if we can get any kind of information here. Maybe more tickets in on this one. And we have just 920 tickets in, 89% of the tickets, 84% of the cash on Ohio State to cover, and 64% of tickets, 86% of cash on the under, which is interesting. Jerry Beatty says defense way down at Ohio State. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But I just don't think Tulsa can hurt them. Now let's get into the game. We've given Peter Loshak a chess timestamp to get to this game, Colorado State Toledo, and see what he can provide for us in this spot. Let's talk a little bit about it before we hand it over to him. This game pops off at 4 p.m. Eastern, Colorado State at Toledo in the Glass Bowl at Toledo, Ohio. Toledo opening up at -14. I got them at -14. They're at -14.5 at a couple books, and the radio show I do, Rob Mike Richards, they're sponsored by Sports Interaction, so I had to give them out at -14.5 for the radio show, but I tweeted it out and bet it at 14, and I like it there. Colorado State opened with a 42-23 loss at home to FCS South Dakota State, and we know they're one of the top 15 schools in the FCS South Dakota State. So we didn't take too much. I didn't put too much into that, but then they followed up with a 24-21 loss at home at Vanderbilt, and from a statistical standpoint, the first 20 plays for Colorado State were scripted, and they were dominant with them. As soon as adjustments had to be made, the coaching staff simply couldn't do it. And they outgained Vanderbilt 305-120 in the first half, and they were up 14-7 at the break. And Caden Camper clowned 2 field goals wide right, and it made me want to lose my shit. And Todd Centeio looked very good with his mobility, but 20 of 38 for 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I didn't trust him when he went to the air. Terry McBride caught 8 passes for 114 yards, but that unsportsmanlike penalty knocked him out of field goal range. Made me want to sharpen a chopstick and stab him in the larynx. So 2 home games now for Colorado State, and now their first road start. So, look, I understand that Toledo's going to be a very public play after what they did to Notre Dame. I get it, but Toledo might be a really good football team, and they have 2 quarterbacks that take the field, and freshman quarterback DeQuan Finn, he's a speedster, and then they have Carter Bradley, who went 17 for 27 for 213 yards. Their junior running back Brian Kobach looked awesome. I mean, he looks like a very good running back, and I don't see why when Colorado State now goes onto the road, we've already seen them not be able to make adjustments, not trust their running game. Why would Toledo not smash and grab? Pete, you've taken a look at this Colorado State-Toledo game. What are you thinking?
My first thoughts are maybe the under and maybe Colorado State first half. I mean, obviously it's Colorado State, from what I'm seeing here, is probably significantly overvalued by the market at the moment. But it's not a great spot for Toledo early, and Colorado State probably will come out firing with something to prove, planning at least a little bit, to show something and prove something to someone. My first thoughts: Colorado State first half plus 7.5 and under 58.5.
Well, I can tell you this, Pete. Their first 20 plays were very good. There was no doubt about it. Like, their scripted work.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I was just going to say that, in college football in general, used to see this with that. When a team is outclassed, a lot of times the class shows late. And you'd see this all the time. Like Alabama would be giving, 20 points or 17.5 points to some other SEC team that was pretty good. And maybe the other team would be even winning heading into the third quarter. And then the class would show and Alabama would start dominating, and then they'd even wind up covering the big spread. So you might see that here. Toledo's clearly the better team. So if we're going to take Colorado State, I would definitely want them early, and maybe a shot with the under.
I think that's a very good breakdown. Toledo feeling good about themselves at Notre Dame could take Colorado State lightly. So maybe this won't be a double up spot for me. I think I'll just focus on Toledo full game taking over the game. So I like that breakdown. And I'm comfortable where I got the minus 14 and minus 105. And I think you're under 58.5 is interesting. I wonder if. So I'm going to put that.
The total looks pretty much dead on, and a lot of times these kinds of games it comes down to fluke touchdowns at the end or field goals, for whether it goes over or not. But got to be thinking a little bit of a lean under at 58.5.
And. Where is this? Hoops says I need to watch Colorado State play. I watched that game. I watched the Vandy game, and I was just, that's the fun thing about college football is that, there's all the mistakes that are made. And so I thought while watching this that I can't wait to fade them next week. That's what I watched. Schillingberg says I was on North Carolina, so thought it was proper that it hit Coastal Carolina minus 25.5 on Friday. That, like you said, the class taking over is what happened to me, Pete, because I had North Carolina A&T, they're up they're winning after the first quarter. They're down 3 at the half, and I don't cover 22.5. I had North Dakota plus 6.5, and they were winning that game 21-7, and I don't cover the 6.5. So I was and I had Coastal Carolina minus 15.5 first half, and they covered the game, full game. So that really hurt me badly. And so it's a well put. All right, there you. Oh, take a look.
I was just going to say, when a team is way outclassed, that's when you want to take the favorite first half. That's when Alabama would be a 50-point favorite over whomever, and they would cover the first half, and then the second half would go under. And a lot of times, though, when they're just clearly outclassing a team, but just by a little bit, nothing extraordinary, that's when you want to think about taking the dog in the first half.
You well put, and so important.
Yeah.
Important.
Oh yeah.
And those of you who don't know, our Pistol Pete Loshak, he won the SBR college football contest.
The only year that you'd be eligible.
2,500 people in it, and he was the winner of that.
Yeah. The only year they made me eligible, and after that they were like, okay, you can't be eligible anymore.
So great stuff, Pete.
And I was I didn't think so.
When baseball slows down, know that people will be attacking these college football games heavy. Hoops 59 says Colorado State looks better passing game, Toledo better run game. I don't know. Dav Fenn says, Pete, aren't you a native New Yorker?
I guess so. But that's not. But don't judge me for that. I have a lot of bad qualities. I never denied that. But there's some things that are good about me as well. Okay, but yes, it's true.
Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have our big NFL show, and I've opened the year 13-5. Bebsy opened the year 6-7, but he was 3-1 in sides and totals. It was the player prop market that got him, and he's extremely angry. And so I hope he's drinking so we can see that combined. Thank you guys all so much here. Pete, you were a magic as always. Any last words before we put a bow on this?
No, not really. Just want to sort of pose for something that looks good so I can take a screenshot, put up my OkCupid profile, and there we go.
There it is. Yeah, right there.
There it is.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys. so much for joining us. Join us 8 p.m. tonight for our NFL coverage. Also, Babano, C-Mac, and the boys put their college football videos out yesterday, so take a look. We've chopped them up, so they're all ready to go too. They're on our channel as we speak. Gambler's First Glance is running hot. That will be on our channel as well, and we get to see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. On behalf of Jose on the ones and twos, my man, Pistol Pete Loshak, and everybody at Pub Sports Radio, we know that you guys in the chat are what makes this show special. So Wick Schnizzle, Jerry Beatty, Mr. Gokester, Hoops 590, Razor Sharp Picks, Dab Fenn, Mark Schillingberg, Noli Nose, Trotwam, Puzzler, Birdie. There's so many of you. Jerry Beatty, Dennis Trusty, Dommy Gun Ricci, Morgan Spooner, Arthur Mead Jr. Thank you guys so much for your support. Williams Funds videos. You guys make the show special. Now let's keep eating. We're running hot right now. We're cashing some winners. Let's keep cashing those winners and get the week off to a rocking start. On behalf of all of us, thank you for watching. Leche, hey, those bookmakers!